Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to HeroesCCL presented by Wisdom. We just had our first best of 5 of the day go a 3-1 direction in favor for the side of Simplicity, as Granite Gaming did lose in that first best of 5, but we're getting ready, Grubby and Justing, for another great best of 5. We have got Diamond Hands up against Storm Esports. And as always, Grubby and Justing, I gotta ask you guys, what'd you get up to in your break?
I fried some eggs. I toasted some bread. I put the eggs on the bread. A bit of salt and pepper. Then I ingested it for nutrients.
Ooh, okay, all right. We're gonna have to get some grubby breakfast tweets out as well, because I do that all the time. Justin, what'd you get up to in your break, my friend?
So I pet springy. Ooh. I ate 3 pieces of cheese. I'm from Wisconsin, so that's like a normal meal.
Okay,
I guess.
fair.
And then I went outside and I took a look at the army of squirrels that are congregating in my front yard, because there's like no birds left. All the birds are migrating because it's cold, and so all it is like bare trees with squirrel nests and just squirrels running all over the place, like hiding nuts and stuff. So it's pretty cool to see them getting ready for the winter. So I was taking a look at the squirrels.
Nice. That sounds like a nice, cozy time. I, on the other hand, have the army of bears breaking into my garage constantly and ripping apart door frames and such. So
really,
actually, I'm not even kidding. Literally, the door frame of my garage is I've already repaired it once, and then they came back and started ripping it apart again. So good times. There's a lot of fun times with the bears trying to find some food before they go into hibernation. But let's talk about some Heroes of Storm action, ladies and gentlemen, because we have 2 awesome rosters here, Grubby. And the first roster we're going to be looking at is Diamond Hands.
Caesar Salad, Godfield, Kelsier, Nintori, Valimar, and June. Diamond Hands has been the roster that for 3 matches straight was able to start with a 2-0 score. So twice they could not close it out and ended up losing. A great potential. These guys know how to win the first 2 maps, and hopefully today for them, the third as well. We'll see how it goes. Key player here is maybe Godfield, a great ranged assassin.
Mm-hmm. When we look over at the side of Storm Esports, we just had that interview with BBJ. Justing, excitement for this roster?
Yeah, this team looked really strong last week. They beat 30k in the 3-2. We've got BBJ on the healer, Daquaza playing the offlane, IB Tings playing the ranged flex, Lauber playing the tank, and Rutzo playing, I guess, the actual hard flex for the team. They looked real scary last week, so I'm excited to see if they're going to be able to keep that momentum going up in this week against Diamond Hands.
Don't forget about CPX, because he did pick up that Nova one time, okay? They do have that Nova player in Storm Esports. True. It was, I wish, honestly, I really wish I could see more Nova, and here's CCL, as well as Triple Tap Nova. That was a precision strike in that Volskaya Foundry game, if I'm not mistaken. But either way, some really cool rosters getting ready for our second best of 3 of the day, and we have our map ready to go, and I'm excited to tell you where we are going to head for our first map in our second best of 5 of the day. It is going to be coin flip won by Storm Esports, opting for first pick priority and banning out Dragonshire. No Phoenix game today. Yes! And we will not see Infernal Shrines from Diamond Hands. They're going to ban that away, and so Diamond Hands will be choosing to take us to Sky Temple for map number 1. I actually didn't have my stats ready for this one, so I don't have any map stats ready to go for anyone on this one. But Sky Temple, one of the few maps that we have seen in CCL. I think we've seen 1 Sky Temple map, and that was last week. So I like going back to this map, and I think Storm Esports, they very much enjoy playing here, even though this is the map choice of Diamond Hands, Justing.
Yeah, this is a map that caters pretty well to the things that Storm Esports plays. BBJ and Lauber like to play those really mobile supports and tanks, like the Muradin and the Lucio. That's what we saw a lot from them last week, and those heroes are very strong on a map like this, where there's a lot of space to disrupt rotations and to just kind of fight in really big open areas. There's not too many really tight corridors on this map. This map's pretty open. So also the foul stat is something that was really important last week, and I expect foul stat and Dahaka, as it's becoming kind of the norm, to become pretty high priority here in this draft.
Actually, I need to correct myself. That was my mistake. I misremembered from last week. It was actually the Granite Gaming versus Chili Mountain game is where we saw Sky Temple. We actually have not seen Diamond Hands or Storm Esports play on this map yet, so I'm excited to see what these teams are going to prioritize, because we don't have any data. There's no data out there outside of scrim blocks and stuff, so always really, really excited to see how things will kind of unfold. And gotta get your thoughts here as well, Grubby, on what we could potentially see here for Sky Temple.
Yeah, well, the globals are important. The Vala denial is clever as well, as we have seen some pretty good Vala coming out of our American ranged assassins in Kelsier, in Godfilth, and of course Unaverted just now. Kind of went up in popularity, especially with the auto attack build. And we heard BBJ talking about it in that interview with, help me out here, with Kyle Ferguson, and there it is, the Lucio coming up. He said he's been playing it a bit more, trying to do less is more, not doing the Yazoo steer buys and dodges of skill shots and everything. Just heal up your team. The utility that Lucio brings from 1 to 15, together with the healing he gets at 16, makes him a great support.
A little bit of a different priority when we get into our initial draft, Justin. I wasn't really expecting a Lucio first pick from Storm Esports whatsoever, nor a Sylvanas Anubarak. The Anubarak a little bit more so, but the Sylvanas is still catching me a little off guard for Diamond Hands.
Yeah, and the Junkrat alarm is going off as well. Junkrat's not been picked or banned here as we go into the second ban phase, so that's pretty different from the previous series, and almost all the series we've seen. Junkrat's been almost exclusively permanently banned from first in that first ban rotation, so
you think it's a map
really different. Yeah, I mean, this isn't one of Junkrat's best maps for sure. It's one of the worst ones because as the temples die, he loses a lot of his protection. This is one of the maps where you really don't want to play things that need the safety of their base, like really immobile characters. Like you wouldn't see probably a Gul'dan on this map unless Mene's playing, because you're almost guaranteed, if you're trading objectives at all, to lose your outer defenses. It's not like some maps where you can kind of keep up your forts for a really long time. This map, they're pretty much just gone, because as soon as you trade objectives, forts are getting just deleted. And I do like that Storm is going for a really mobile comp with the Lunara and the Lucio and the Tyrael. Like, I like that there's a theme to their comp so far. I do think that getting Stukov third pick is a little wild, and Nintori is known for his Chen play, so it'll be exciting to see if that's the counter that they need. I think Chen's pretty underrated. It's just offlaners are so strong, but they did ban 3 of them out, so I guess Chen's their next choice, and I don't mind it. I think Chen's good.
Chen is in a very good spot. He's got a lot of viability with different builds and different pick orders as well. Some good synergies can be found, but I think the word of mobility is just perfectly explained for Storm Esports, because you have so much mobility from every single one of these heroes on the side of Storm. I'm loving what they put together here, but Grubby, gotta get your thoughts here as we're getting to this last pick from the side of Diamond Hands.
Yeah, who would you pick into this mobile comp? Someone that's fast themselves? No, he's not very fast. Wow, is that the first Abathur this season?
It might be. Justin, while you break this down for us,
I'm pretty sure it is.
Yes.
Oxygen.
There's been one ban last weekend. Diamond Hands Diamond Hands banned it out last weekend against Oxygen when they had that Samuro on Dragonshire.
Oh, yeah, that made sense. I think their draft for Diamond Hands is definitely interesting with the Abathur. I think they didn't really need to pick the Abathur, and they could have still had maybe a winning draft here. I think that the Greymane on the side of Storm Esports is going to struggle quite a bit into Stukov. That is historically not a great matchup. You can take the physical armor at level 4 on Stukov, and Greymane has a really bad time into that. And also Tyrael Greymane, while it is a tried and true strategy, it feels a little outdated in the game right now. It feels like in the current meta, it's really hard to get value from Greymane like you used to be able to diving in. It feels typically diving in on Greymane is really risky now. Even with that sanctification, there's a lot of interrupt potential with Sylvanas, with Anubarak, with Stukov, and those 3 as a core, the Stukov, Anubarak, and Sylvanas, are kind of a traditional just blow up people in one shot, don't let them play the game for a little bit combo. So I'm not sure if the ABBA is going to work for them. This is probably one of ABBA's best maps, but I do like what Diamond Hands has drafted, and they are the 2-0 kings of the series, so I'm going to go with Diamond Hands in the first game.
Oh, Justin, well, thank you for your thoughts and analysis, as we do have map number 1 loaded up, and we have got Diamond Hands in the blue, Kelsier on the Sylvanas, Valimar on the Stukov, Nintori to play the Chen, Caesar Salad on the Anubarak, and Got Filth on the Abathur. I just keep hearing some audio cues from Abathur over and over again as we had that introduction. We got Storm Esports in the red, though. We got BBJ on the Lucio, Lauber to play the Tyrael, Dequaz on the Urel, Ivy Tings on the Lunara, and we got Rutso on the Greymane. I'm feeling Storm Esports. I like what they've drafted. I think there's a lot of really cool and unique abilities and blow up potential and sustainability from the side of Storm Esports. But Grubby, I want to get your thoughts on this as we've let you sit there and ponder for a little bit about what the meaning of these compositions mean to you.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen it, but I remember the first time I saw Chen Abathur on Sky Temple. It's a couple of years ago, and it is crazy, actually. Abathur, one of his best maps. Chen, a great vessel for Symbiote. He becomes such a big damage dealer. I'm liking it a lot, and with all the other offlaners being banned out, I wonder if this was always going to be something that Diamond Hands was already planning, Chen Abathur synergy. So to everyone that watches HoTS casually, we're probably expecting a mule pick here from Abathur at the level 7 talent, the only character in the game that can still repair buildings, not just mitigate damage, but actually repair buildings. That's really strong on a map objective that does guaranteed damage to enemy structures without any counterplay. Once those lasers are flying, there's no mirror that can deflect those lasers. There's no, let's kill the boss before it gets to our keep. So, mule. Expecting that, so you slow down the game with that, you keep your keeps alive, and the ultimate goal is you can lose your 3 forts, but you keep saving and trading in a way that you save your keeps with half-life and then mule them up, and eventually you play a game of attrition with your very chunky team of survivability, and then eventually you get 1 or 2 of your opponent's keeps and you make them be unable to make good decisions in the late game. That's usually the Abathur game plan.
And I believe Mule heals like around like 2,000 HP or something like that, and it has a 20-second.
More than that.
Is it more than? I might be misremembering the calculation on it, but I think the like it's got a cooldown of 40 seconds and it's activated for 20. So realistically, as long as it doesn't get killed, it does have a cooldown of about 20 seconds. We've talked about overlapping cooldowns with ability timers, much like Urel Seraphim, as Nintori gets a lot of pressure applied to him in top lane. But speaking of top lane pressure, Grubby, can you break down why this bruiser camp in top lane is such a priority, and maybe even just why the value is so good to get it so early on this map?
Well, first of all, it's at the top, which means you create space at the bottom. If they were so inclined, Lunara could now be pushing bot lane and bot tower. Looks like they're actually going to make a big play for Anubarak. He will get away. BBJ doing a little bit of Manka steer there, trying to get the Anubarak. But ultimately, the goal of the Bruiser camp is to get 2 towers and a gate. If you do, the top objective will actually secure you, as Caesar Salad will live, probably. Yeah. The top objective will secure you the entire fort. And it is so important. First blood by Storm Esports. It's so important to get forts down and make sure they're not half alive. Otherwise, Abathur will mule them back to health.
Yeah, that is the big thing in this. Caesar Salad, he won't die to the explosion of Tyrael. BBJ, I think, was looking to chase in. But I do believe Caesar Salad dropped to like 300 HP, but then got some bolstered healing from the Stukov, as we have the top lane being fought over between Chen and Urel. BBJ, he's considering jumping up there to help, but he's going to stick onto mid and get those shots out. We have Nintori forcing Dequaza off this point because the Abathur hat does make things a little difficult in the 1.5v1. And Abathur is going to be up in this top lane trying to push out the waves. Big back and forth between both these teams as Greymane gets a wave in bottom lane trying to close the gap to level 7, or at least make a gap into level 7. Dequaza has the Avenging Wrath, but doesn't jump into this mid lane engagement. And it's looking like things are just going to be traded out, as Abathur was a little far forward in top lane, does back beyond his own gate. And there is that mule from the level 7. It's, excuse me, it has a... Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that was not good use of the mule. He put it mid. Greedy to put it for the front wall, so it died with like 70% of its duration left. Could have used it top for 2 towers. Could have used it mid for the remainder of mid fort, like now. But that was a greedy use of it. I don't think it's the best. Got filth big greedy with that, hoping that that mule can get full value. But great job by Storm to kill it. They targeted it as well.
So I have the numbers here, Grubby, because I did, do some very quick, absolute accurate caster math, and it's going to be 3,600 for the full duration of Mule, 40 seconds of activated time, but it's got a 60-second cooldown, so a little misremembering on my end, but still, there you go, 3,600.
Because you told me about that 3,600. I think I remember that before. I remember something 3K plus. What I thought, big invasion from the Reds. We've got Storm coming in with 5 people. They're looking to steal this siege camp. Dequaza's dropping low. Typically not a fight Abathur comes want to take. Full pedal to the metal. 4.5v5.
Was a nice lurking arm on the ground as that's going to be Yrel going down, but Sylvanas to be traded out. So BBJ pushing off into Caesar Salad's face. He is forced to use the burrow charge away as Nintori pops the stagger, but it's not going to be a stagger to invade as Valimar does fall. The Abathur hat providing not enough shielding and healing. Grubby, I believe, to quote you, the goggles, they do nothing.
they do nothing. Gotta use my accent too when you say it, right?
I couldn't do it as good as you, so I was like, you know what? At least I'll bring that one back up. But yeah, no, it is a really good invade from Storm Esports, and the momentum that they're bringing into this game is the big thing to talk about right now. And we do have mid lane siege being had, and this is what you were talking about, Grubby. You don't want to leave this fort at 50% because now the mule can be called down. I'm going to look really quickly. Abathur has 4 seconds left on mule cooldown.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty neat. I was pretty sure Rutzo and friends were going to get the mid fort, pushing in with a minion wave after buying time with the siege camp. But great defense by Diamond Hands. In lockstep, level 10 is reached. And that mid fort is going to get healed up with the mule again. Though I will say it's from the wrong side, from the right side. Come on, Godfilth. I think he's minimap muling. Maybe that's why. Yrel actually was trying. Dayquaza was trying to kill the mule, but Nintori is defending it. Always defend your mule, guys. Caesar Salad getting attacked. He's trying to get the burrow charge to the left, but he can't get there. So he's got to do this pathway burrow charge where they can jump him, and they do. Valimar there to save him.
I do like the aggressive level 10 for Rutzo going in for the go for the throat to try and solidify some kills in some of these engagements. And there have been a lot of engagements with very low Diamond Hands member. The Stukov didn't go into the Biotic Armor at level 4 as we were talking about earlier, but it doesn't matter. Let's talk about the fight right now because there's a clone on to the Sylvanas Sanctification. Utilizes the Wailing Arrows, whiffed and mitigated by the Sanctification. We have Ivy Tinks getting chased right here. Nubrak comes in with some big damage. BBJ is able to push off and tap the well. No, he doesn't have well available. Leaping Strikes in from Lunara, and everything is going to fall apart, but no, the flailing swipes save the day, and Caesar Salad lives with a sliver of HP. I cannot believe that this engagement has not yielded a single kill.
Yeah, that was crazy. I surely thought Caesar Salad was crouton for.
Yeah!
Yes! Oh. Anyway, bottom fort. Getting attacked now, and I think they should be able to get it. Stukov Sylvanas coming in to try and do the defense. Let's look at bottom fort. It goes down. Kelsier.
So Kelsier. Stukov actually should fall in all this. The momentum is here to chase into him, and there's enough space to be able to solidify the kill. Greymane will get hit with the cocoon, and actually that is going to be the reason he does know. Oh, whoa, Valimar was playing really risky right there, and Greymane wasn't able to use the go for the throat to get any sort of kill into Valimar. He steps back into lane with Caesar Salad. And I'm taking stock of the map right now. We do have Yrel moving back into the top lane. Abathur, can Abathur get caught out? No. Okay, he won't get caught out. I was about to be like, oh my god, Godfilth might get just bopped by a giant hammer.
Yeah, definitely Dayquaza tried, but he walked through mid fort and mid towers in order to get there. Pretty much announced his arrival there, and Godfilth got back. Not before getting half the fort, so. Taking stock of the situation, we have 4 against 2 takedowns by Storm Esports. I think they've done a good job so far of mitigating the Abathur effect and trying to speed up this game a bit. They got the bottom fort, which has the boss as a win condition, and they're up a fort, let's say half a fort, and now with superior map pressure and XP, but still, it's Abathur with level 20 threat looming. Of course, Storm can end anytime with a level 20 Sanctification on core. Lunara, Greymane represent loads of damage on the core. That can be a cool win condition. A little bit of an unveiling of the potential future.
We have a heavy caster, Lucio, as well, so if anyone's wondering why Lucio might be able to stun someone, it's his level 13 with that push-off value. It's not a common talent that we see at 13, but it is a very, very strong talent with the composition that Storm Esports has built. And now, Storm Esports, they go into mid lane to try and get this fort for like the second, maybe third time. It is going to fall this time, as we have a double altar phase popping up on the map, bottom lane and mid area. If grabbed by the side of Storm, doesn't matter which lane that they go into, mid or bottom, it will fire onto the top lane fort, as that is the last fort available in the defense line for Diamond Hands. And it's just a little bit of a priority onto how the map mechanic works. Mid will shoot it to mid if all 3 towers are up, like you're seeing from Shen's perspective. Yep. But yeah, and just camps grabbed and objectives traded.
We've seen 6 Tyraels this season, maybe. Pretty much everyone has taken either the smite damage or something, smite auto attack damage, or they went for the other thing. I think it's like burning. No, burning sword is. Anyway, they never went holy ground, is what I'm trying to say. And this time, finally, it is holy ground. So it's for that boss control. Valamar's getting bullied. He's got no friends that can save him. They can only try to counterattack, and they are trying that. But was he a little bit out of position? I don't know. It's not going to be the most exciting replay. Maybe just for my benefit at my behest.
I'd like to see it too.
Like, how was it a personal mistake, or was it just a great collapse from Storm? We'll see if we can do that. Storm goes for the boss. They've got holy ground to protect it. There's no counterplay possible. Diamond Hands is falling behind rather significantly. Storm is counterplaying the Abathur draft really well.
Yeah. Yeah, typically we've been seeing the sort of justice for a lot of these Tyraels to be able to kind of have that bop back and around, but Slobber, he wants to be able to control and also be able to mitigate any sort of boss steals, as this is Caesar Salad trying his best to back away, but another kill goes over to the side of Storm Esports, bolstering this level gap that is starting to form, and it might just be Storm Esports knocking on the keep front door with the pending 16 talent tier. I think Storm with the kill into a Nubrak could force this boss into keep, maybe even taking down keep through bottom lane.
Yeah, this should be a keep and maybe more. I think they have the chance with the movement speed that they have, the mobility to actually get more kills. We see double Sylvanas here just to pump out raw DPS. Lauer separates the Sylvs, gets the one that you don't really want. Kelsier drops low. Sanctification, they can just jump in through the Sanctification and dive Sylvanas. He's really low. Honestly, really courageous for him to stay in this fight. Kelsier, that is. Keep has been lost. That was the ultimate goal. Anything else was extra. Why even attack the boss? Valamar, Kelsier, come on. Like, it's not gonna hit the shield. Don't you have places to be? Meanwhile, though, big minion wave build up, mid and top. Godfilth did what Abathurs do, and it is not unsalvageable for Diamond Hands whatsoever, Bahamut. Impressive, don't you think?
I do like that Abathur is utilizing this time. Like, okay, I can see so many members of Storm Esports on the map pushing bottom. Let me proxy waves. And that did close the gap to 16 talents here. But Grubby, just before we get into this altar phase, we do have that replay for us to take a look at of how Stukov got picked off.
Yeah, not sure if we still have time for it. There is a bit of a play. Yeah, we do have time for it. A little bit too late, actually, to start that replay. I wanted to see the walking up to it. But Tyrael wasn't here. Maybe because they knew someone was on bottom temple, right? They're together. They think they're fine. It's just a positioning thing then. He can't be the first one to get all in by leaping strike. I would say he was too far forward.
Exactly. That's if memory serves right, and just looking back at that for a second, it did look like he was far forward. But here is a wailing arrow from Sylvanas. High fives coming through from BBJ Lauber, chunked to 50%. But look at the top of our screen. We do have Urel in the bush waiting to Avenging Wrath into this engagement. If Rutso can step forward, there's the Avenging Wrath forward. Righteous Hammer into the Anubrak. He has no way of actually getting out of here. He burrows, but he's right next to Ivy Tings, and the chase continues in through this bottom lane. Ultimate Evolution is available. They can clone someone, but Stukov goes down. Sanctification comes out on the ground as well. Kelsier trying to get away with the Will of the Forsaken. Actually, she doesn't even have that. She's just trying to run out of here, but it is got filled with the clone, trying to buy some time. And the members of Storm Esports, they moved to core on Sky Temple. And Grubby, I look at this game, and it's just all Storm Esports. Yes, there were a few shining moments for Diamond Hands, but this is just Storm Esports raining down destruction over Diamond Hands. The big, heavy cloud has converged, and it will be Storm Esports taking map number 1 in a fairly dominant fashion, if I do say so myself, sub 14 minutes into the game.
Yeah, they deconstructed whatever Diamond Hands was trying here with great ease, one might say. It looked comfortable, they were never really threatened, and Diamond Hands, never really took off for them. A very dominating victory here by Storm Esports, and well, at least Diamond Hands can say, hey, this was a technical draft. We tried to win technically with a tech pick, like a special pick. We haven't like fully done the normal team fight thing. It just felt like they were outnumbered all the time.
So we got to get Justin back in here, and I have one important question to ask you in this, and it's a serious one, is why did this go so well for Storm Esports?
So Storm Esports kind of just, they played super aggressive, and they never really let up the gas at all. It felt as if Diamond Hands was not prepared for this whatsoever. Storm just played super aggressive, and Diamond Hands didn't really have a response for it. what Diamond Hands wants to do is they want to CC one target and lock them down with a Nubarak and Stukov and just one-shot one target, but that really doesn't work into Lucio, especially when BBJ is playing it. BBJ is very good at Lucio, and he pretty much high-fived every single attempt they made, especially with the Nubarak. Nubarak does really well into a single support, and his job is to usually just cocoon the support and then go for a one-shot. But if the enemy team has a bunch of pseudo-supports, they have Lunara, they have Tyrael with Sanctification, they have BBJ with Lucio with the high five. There's really no good opening for him unless unless Storm Esports gives it to them. And Storm Esports was just on the offensive 24/7. There was really no opportunity for Diamond Hands to really make anything happen. And also in the past, Gotfilt has seemed really important as like kind of that main carry for the team. I think putting him on Abathur might be kind of griefing. He seems really, really impactful in their previous games on whatever he's playing. He seemed to be the kind of the core DPS that they're building around. And for him to be playing Abathur, his Abathur didn't look great either. I'd like to see Gotfilt play something a little bit more standard, but Storm Esports looking very, very strong and scary right now. I would be a little bit worried if I was Diamond Hands after that. They looked real shaky, and Storm looked like they just ripped them apart pretty much.
It is a best of 5 series, and we've talked in previous seasons. We've talked to McIntyre. I've poked Grubby about this as well, and you know the mentals. It's a best of 5 series, and I think what Diamond Hands needs to do is say, okay, we tried the fun thing, we tried the Sky Temple thing. Let's reel things in for map number 2 and try and play a little bit more standard. And I do believe we have that map ready to go for everyone at home. So let's find out where we're going to be heading into for map number 2. It is going to be Tomb of the Spider Queen. This is going to be the map choice of Storm Esports, meaning that the Diamond Hands roster have opted for first pick priority as that losing team. As we're getting ready for the Tomb map, Justin, I want to actually bring this back to you once again. What can Diamond Hands do different in comparison to that Sky Temple map?
So I think it kind of all starts in the draft. Probably either pick or ban away the Lucio, because we've seen that Storm is the one team that really is willing to just first pick it pretty much whenever, it seems. And Valimar has showed that he plays Lucio as well in the past, and he played it really well. So I'd like to see them either pick or ban that away. BBJ's definitely looked a lot better on the Lucio than he has on his other supports. And that's not to discredit him on the other supports, but the value that BBJ gets on Malf does not seem even close to the value that he can get on the Lucio. So I would definitely want to avoid that. You can see that they're banning away Retzo's Zarya, so they're looking for more targeted bans. I think that's okay. But I'm really hoping that Diamond Hands can get something that is a little bit easier to play as well, and maybe put Gotfilth on something that he can really carry with.
Yeah, looking at the stats from that last game, it was like BBJ with double the healing of Stukov. It was like 60,000 to about like 30,000 in healing, so it's really, really strong. And I don't know, it's a little inflated on the side of Lucio because he just got the AoE and blah, 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 but still, I think BBJ, to his credit, he is a phenomenal Lucio player. And while we're having these bans come out, Grubby, I also want to poke your brain about all this. What can Diamond Hands do getting into Tomb of the Spider Queen to shift the momentum back over to their favor?
Yeah, I agree with Justin here. Put Godfilth on a ranged assassin that creates some space. He was popping off on Phoenix, and I think anything but a Phoenix would be a great disappointment to you, Bahamut.
We love Phoenix.
He's a big fan of Phoenix. Aren't you like level 15 on Phoenix Allied Commander in SC2? I bet you are. So that's something that Diamond Hands could do. Just no more tech picks. Just kind of find your footing with a standard 5-on-5 fighting draft.
I do like the Blaze to kick things off for Diamond Hands. You got the AoE stun, you got some good wave clears, you got some good control as well. But now we look at this and it's like, all right, BBJ, he wants to play Stukov this game, Justin.
Yeah, I mean, Stukov in general should be okay into Lucio, but with the rest of the draft that they picked, it just felt like it wasn't able to get the same amount of value into the Lucio. So I don't know if Valimar will really go for it or not here. It is available, but he has kind of infinite options. I think that picking the Blaze, we spoke to Pants about this, and he did mention the main thing is just the draft priority for the offlane, which I agree with that. That definitely makes sense. That's like kind of a general guideline for drafting, is you want to kind of not show too much early in the draft, and picking the offlaner doesn't show much. That being said, first picking it, I think, is kind of a mistake, because you have so many options, and if you say that there's really no difference between getting Blaze or Dahaka, first picking one of them when anything is available from first pick, I think, is a little bit a little bit rough. So I'm already feeling a little bit worried for Diamond Hands in the draft so far.
Agree. The only benefit now that they get is that they see what is being picked. Okay, Stukov Tychus. That's one shot. What do they want? Varian, Stukov Tychus. We've seen that work today. So then not only do they steal away the Varian, who can also resist with his bonus 50% health from the taunt build, can resist that kind of one shot, but also Anduin to save someone else. So now we've got the support that protects against one shot and 2 nearly indestructible tanks. Still, it's a daring proposition because layer the CC right, and Stukov Tychus can even kill a Varian or Blaze.
I'm sitting here thinking, like, okay, you ban out the Diablo, and that is very, very strong, but I feel like you could just grab the Anubrak, cocoon the Anduin, and then hard dive into the rest of the roster of Diamond Hands, but I don't think we're actually going to see a traditional main tank in this game, Justin. I think this might be something in your wheelhouse of main tanks.
Maybe. I mean, Laubert still has to pick, right? I don't know what... Is Laubert playing Maiev? Maybe. I haven't seen it yet.
He's on NA Pink now, and I don't know what he's been practicing.
That's true.
On a weird mouse pad. I forgot about that.
Maybe with an Uther or something, but I'm not sure if they're going to the support list or the double support fight yet. They do have the option to pivot into it, though, with their last pick, depending on if they feel like it's good here or not. Rutso, I do know, plays a lot of Maiev, so... Oh, there is the Uther. So yeah, they do go for the double support. That's really scary. Also, Yrel. I think Pants had mentioned that Dahaka and Blaze are kind of the top off lanes.
Mm-hmm.
In my games, personally, I find Yrel to be extremely oppressive. I think that if I played offlane, I would probably just one-trick Yrel. I think she's just ridiculous. If if you play her enough, she feels just so strong to me.
Oh yeah.
And I like that they're prioritizing the Yrel and that they're not kind of falling into that trap of just pick like Blaze early. Like I'm not a big fan of what Diamond Hands has drafted. Also, Tracer is pretty weak into double support. Yeah. I think getting Uther and Stukov on the same team also is something that if teams were drafting the way that they were at the end of CCL in Season 2, there's no way that you would be able to get Stukov and Uther because they're always just not allowed to be on the same team. But it feels as though teams are kind of forgetting about that Uther up until now. It's starting to make a bit of a comeback in the drafts. I like that a lot, and I'm a huge fan of Storm Esports comp in this game.
I would agree with you 100% on this. There's a lot of tools on the side of Storm Esports to also shut down the Tracer's sustained damage with Uther's ability to apply armor, with Sukov's ability to apply armor if he goes into that. Tychus can gain physical armor, Yrel can gain armor. It's a lot of really good things for the side of Storm Esports. The one-shot potential can be big, and we'll see if they can lock that down on the side of Diamond Hands. It's going to boil down to execution, but Justin, thank you for your breakdown, your analysis, because we have loaded into Tomb of the Spider Queen, ladies and gentlemen, and we are going to find out what's going to happen here as we have our teams getting into the lanes. On the left-hand side, we have got the side of Diamond Hands. Got Filth on the Tracer, Valimar on the Anduin, Nintori on the Blaze, Caesar Salad playing the Varian, and Kelsier on the Chromie. Now, I don't know if you caught my eyes there, but as we were loading in, Grubby, I noticed something very important from the side of Storm Esports, and it is that Lauber is on the Maiev, IB Ting's on the Tychus, BBJ on the Stukov, Rutso on the Uther, and Dayquaza to play the Yrel. Bit of a crazy setup right now. I like the momentum of Storm Esports. I think that they've drafted something kind of unique and strong up against Diamond Hands, but I gotta hear what you're thinking about this, Grubby, from both sides.
I had no idea Laubert's been practicing Maiev. I always see him on these cumbersome, tanky heroes, and now with 20 ping from Canada, uprooting his life for CCL only, maybe his girlfriend as well. He's playing Maiev. This is exciting times. Bolstered by confidence, bolstered with confidence after the first game. And Rutso, I have seen him play a lot of Uther, and it's not the hardest hero either. You do need some mastery and some knowledge, some experience, but mechanically Rutso can play pretty much any hero, and Uther, I know he's played it. All I'm saying is we're in safe hands there. Lauber Maiev has yet to be proven.
That's true. I also heard a rumor, Grubby, that if you're good at the piano, you're very good at playing Uther.
Piano Uther build, yeah. Does he have as many buttons as he once had? Like he
I don't think so anymore. But
like he had even more before, not 100%.
Oh my god, I feel like you had like 1 through 4 key for Uther, maybe even 1 through 5 key with all the talents and stuff you could pick up back in the day. But things have been changed around. But Grubby, sorry, I did kind of interrupt you with a horrible joke, and
not at all.
I want to get your thoughts continued from both these sides.
Well, Yeah, Tracer. I think the big standout point here is why Tracer into that team. Who can she really trade positively with? It's more to maybe to secure the variant one-shot or something. Like the fact that she can, wherever she is in the fight, I guess, there you go, cast a curse.
It's taking forever to kill Yrel, and I honestly don't know why she went left. I feel like she could have done this entire kind of slow drag to the right and not lose, what was it, like 10 or so gems?
Yeah, maybe despite dying, maybe felt like skill shots were coming that way, but then maybe someone picks up the gems? Jealous gem hoarder.
I don't know. I mean, that's maybe that's just me and my own priorities in the game. It's just like, but what about the gems? I don't care about your death. What about our economy? We need to be able to pay. As there is actually like a 12 gem deficit to the side of Storm Esports after that kill.
Yep, you get 3 from a kill, I think.
3 from a, yep, you do get 3 from a kill. You get 3 from a wave as well.
All the denial on those lost gems, and that's actually pretty significant.
Yeah. 43 to 28 in that count as we do have a time stop on to, oh my god, Rutso, goodbye.
God Filth Tracer validated, no debated. Oh, 25 gems. Lover. God, my F. God, my F.
Whew, that was very close. Vaulted the Warden right in front of the gate. Seems like Diamond Hands are disagreeing with the three of us and saying, no, we have actually drafted the better composition as Lauber has to vault again, gets hit by the last breath from the Grubby as he steps in. The gems will be picked up, but it's like, literally, Storm Esports can't do a single thing right now into Diamond Hands.
Don't you feel like Storm always has like one inty game per series?
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Even last weekend when they won, Lauber interview, he's like, yeah, BBJ and me were hinting a bit to keep it exciting for the fans. There's like 7 Death Diablo, there's the 9 Death Diablo from last season. And
yeah, there's BBJ in the interview, he actually said that in that game when he died like 7 times or something like that, he said that like 4 or 5 of them were Lauber's fault, not his.
I missed that part. I was walking down the stairs getting some eggs. Not on the stairs, but... sequence. Yeah, I keep my egg cartons on the handheld of the spiral staircase.
Actually, it might be a good spot for it. I mean, if it's cold enough, maybe. But as Chastise at max range connects onto Dequaza, I'm just skimming through talents because we do have 7s coming up on both sides. BBJ getting chunked a little bit as the healing comes out from Rutso as well. We are going to be seeing the Sudden Vengeance at level 4 for the 6% damage. We also have the Bonds of Corruption from Yrel for the Umbral Bind to have the armor reduction and the slow by 25%.
Okay, a little bit of a tanking talent really, enabling your team, exactly what a tank does. As God Filth dodges a hammer from Yrel. Yrel, pretty nimble, but feels cumbersome and clumsy compared to the mobility of a Tracer. God Filth using all the APMs he can. He's gonna start unloading tiny bits of damage on Yrel, walls, and anyone that gets near her little 2 guns. Pistols.
I know APM is not something we can like legit measure in this game. Wait, hold on. I'm gonna hold this thought really quickly as we do have Lauber and IB Tinks backing away. There was one time I casted a Mal'Ganis. I'm not exaggerating, Grubby. I opened up the APM in this game and it said 1,300, 1,300.
You know that's not possible, right?
Hey, that is the highest I've ever seen it. Like I've heard a lot of weird things about APM in this game, but like how
he probably just has like a macro, like a hypersonic N keyless times million keyboard that when he holds down move button, it just registers as like millions of clicks.
Because I like on my stream, I check the APM from time to time because it's fun just to look at it and see what the numbers look like and chat loves it too. But like, that is the first time I've ever seen it go that high. Like the highest I've ever seen is like, yeah, it makes no sense.
You don't even use your keyboard when you do things, like when you walk around in HoTS. Like the highest RTS APM that I've seen is like 500 plus. You don't even get 600. There's no way one Mal'Ganis can get 1300 APM in the normal way.
He's got an auto clicker or something like that. He goes in for the fellow. Yeah, but either way, sorry.
Pick up all the items in D2 or something. He's playing D2 on the background.
Oh, you got what is it? What is it when you play the 2 games at once? It's double boxing? Multi-boxing, there we go. I could not think of the term for it. But either way, reeling it into this map right now, because Diamond Hands, they are just everywhere. They are just swarming this map as the Leap of Faith comes out. Caesar Salad uses the sidewall to actually charge, so he did go for that Warbringer at level 10. We have Lauber trying to come in with the Umbral Bind. It will be on to Tracer. She gets the recall, but she recalls right next to Stukov, and Tracer goes down. That's the first kill for Storm Esports, and they find it down the 10 talent tier.
Yep, Maiev, the anti-mobility specialist, like how she was announced when she came out. And then, of course, she was anti-everything with a 71% win rate, some of the most broken released hero ever. Maybe even more than S of Johan Liming.
I think so.
They get the kill on Tracer. He was a little bit too greedy. He was pumping out damage on the fort as Diamond Hands' team was already retreating. Wait, how long can you hold that bruiser camp when the payment has already been made? Clearly this long. I had no idea.
Yeah. I mean, it's already been finished out, so they're just waiting to channel it. Because I've never seen it like disappear or anything like that. Mid lane fort for the side of Storm Esports is still up, but I think it's on a literal sliver of HP. But here comes the dive immediately onto Caesar Salad. Really good vision manipulation from BBJ and the rest of Storm Esports. They played around that corner of the turn-in area, and I think this would be a great replay to see if we could see like kind of the start of that rotation, so we can actually see how Storm collapsed onto the Varian right there. But an Umbral Bind onto Chromie. There was a containment disc onto Got Filth, slowing Sands, kind of the goal, the goalie right now, blocking Storm Esports from stepping up. But here is the Webweaver through mid, but the top lane pressure is the priority.
And BBJ is such a menace, even able to catch some of these hard-to-catch heroes like Tracer. There comes in the taunt, slowing Sans is there, so Ratzo's gonna be absolutely moving at a glacial pace. Luckily, his whole team is there to check him. And when the dust settles, you know what? I thought Storm Esports was doing a great job here. They got a kill, got the turn, then got another kill. They should have had a massive result, but look at the forts.
Yeah.
They're standing sentinel.
It is there is no major gain for Storm Esports through that Webweaver phase. It kind of pushes out the map, and Kelsier comes through 1-2. Dragon Breaths will take down the mid lane fort. And the big thing, oh wait, hold on, there's going to be a Spirit of Vengeance over the wall, but there's no actual engagement. Lauber is going to get hit with the time stop. Vault of the Warden out of that. There's Number of Bind onto Blaze. He pops the bunker. Then Tori with 31 gems is able to back away, and Daquazi gets the Avenging Wrath over the wall. But Valimar just got left alone. Like,
Oops.
Oh no! It's like everyone was divvying up like who gets in whose car to go to the movie, and then there's one guy who didn't really say anything, and he's just kind of standing in the driveway like, whose car do I get in?
Yeah.
Nobody's.
Turns out they never bought him a ticket anyway.
Oh, poor Anduin. I mean, his father should be looking out for him, Caesar Salad, but well, either way. Turn-in, though, back-to-back turn-ins will be here for Storm Esports, and I believe we have that earlier replay to kind of break down, as this chase should not yield a kill.
Yeah, so what happened there? They walked into a trap with Stukov. How did Storm Esports set it up? Look at that. Oh, perfect timing there.
Oh,
around the vision.
Nice.
Now, we can't see it exactly, but there is no vision of them right around the corner. And then, how did they see him coming? Minion wave?
He must. Yeah, he left the
Perfect
Webweaver
setup.
wave in top. Yeah, there was a couple of. You know what I learned? I learned a new term from jesting last night, Grubby. The little spiders that the Webweaver summons. You know what those are called? They're called the babies.
No. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, they're actually just called spider.
They're called spiders.
It makes no sense since they're walking like some.
It's so funny because like we were watching a game and Justin was commenting like, they're not killing the babies, and I was like, what do you mean by the babies? Let's clarify this. But it is like
That's
the Webweaver's
the least cute baby I've ever seen. I'm zooming in. No, that's the stuff of nightmare. No, I do not want to see that grow up at all.
Well, we also have the lobsters in the bottom lane, the siege giants as well. That's
lobsters?
The lobsters. I misspoke there, but the lobsters like the crustacean.
The crustacean.
That's what a lobster is. He's a crustacean.
I thought you were cutifying the tank player for Storm Esports. Very nice results here for Storm Esports. They got 3 forts down now. Wasn't convinced at first about his Maiev, but he's been getting some results there. And it's kind of working out here for Storm. Here we have a Hammer of Justice. Had he had Benediction, that may have actually been Tracer's death. 2 gems paying. What is that? BBJ. Just baiting. Will it work, though?
Not going to be the case. I do want to point out the shadow armor picked up by Lauber on the Maiev. Blink grants 20 armor for 3.5 seconds. Maiev basic attacks against enemy heroes refresh the duration. So this is going to be one of those talents that really allows the side of Storm Esports to dive and sustain these fights as we have a 16 talent tier looming for both teams, but the bigger thing to consider is the Web Weaver phase that Diamond Hands could be pushing into these lanes, and that could yield them that top lane fort, maybe some damage onto the keep front gate.
3 versus 3 in takedowns, but XP leading for Diamond Hands, and I'm looking at where it comes from. They actually have less minion XP. It's all that passive XP that they got from structure. So when you, and more mercenaries, by the way, for Diamond Hands. But it's when you kill keeps earlier, even though they killed fewer of them, you start getting a little bit of bonus trickle XP. And they're rocking 19 versus 17,500. And that pretty much constitutes the entirety of the difference here. So kill forts early is good. Nice to remember.
Oh my god, Tracer! Woo! That's gems on the ground, not to be picked up. The Web Weaver phase is here, but it's going to be Storm Esports looking to make a big fight happen. A huge light bomb comes out from Anduin. The bunker is utilized as well. Warbringer from level 10 allows CCL to dash or charge to friendly teammates as it has a 4-second cooldown. 8 seconds taken off that 12-second totality, but 16's up on both sides. The taunt goes in onto Lauber, follow-up jet propulsion. There's a Divine Shield and a Vault of the Warden as we have an Umbra Bind re-engage, slowing Sands out from the Chromie. Dequaza diving in with the Avenging Wrath as Rutso is very low. Healing reduction applied to him from the Varian Mortal Strike. Valimar trying to back away. The overkill is in play from the Tychus. The Web Weaver phase is slowly being cleared out by the structures. Chromie trying to buy a... I don't know what Chromie's trying to buy right there, but it is still going to be the Blaze going down, and it is going to be a very good engagement from the side of Storm Esports, but Caesar Salady wants to get this top lane keep. He unfortunately, or Fort, will not be able to do so.
Yeah, not quite. Not getting this fort, despite the Web Weaver, because Tracer died so early. Ivy thinks, is this... No, why did he... Why not just keep auto-attacking one more time? Got filth.
I wish I had the answer. I unfortunately do not.
It's like parting gift. I got 27% chance that one of the bombs hits it. How much does it do? Let's see if it would have been enough. Yeah. 6 bombs, 468 damage. Tychus had 300 plus health. So, yeah, he did the lottery.
I was going to say we have a replay, but we have a fight coming out once again. Storm Esports, they want to re-engage while the enemy is split on the map, and the split is into Varian. A great containment disc will land onto the Tracer. Yrel with the Avenging Wrath for the slow. The yoink from the Anduin. The Tracer gets the recall, and she's going to be in a safer spot trying to back away. Unfortunately, Valimar is the new target, and he immediately goes down. This is just Storm Esports hitting their stride. The momentum is just absolutely phenomenal for this Storm Esports crew.
Yeah, and now they can take the boss. They're actually letting Siege Camp go because they've got a catapult that pretty much took them down a peg. One of the Siege Camp creatures is 10%, the other's 20, and Webbies actually are getting a direct attack on them. So boss, no problem. No need to go bottom at all. Dequaza did the monster math and is paying exactly 13 is what he had into the base station. Boss and Webweaver, typically Bahamut, this doesn't end games, does it?
No, but we do have a replay of that moment a few seconds ago of that fight through mid, and there's just so much split. Like, Rutso actually sacrifices his body to be able to set up the collapse into Valimar, and Dequaza with just all of this slow value is so huge, getting all these kills. But when we come back to reality, Grubby, Webweaver has arrived to top lane with Boss, and if the side of Storm Esports with their 20 talent tier that they just achieved are able to get a kill or two, this might be the game-ending push that will win the game for Storm Esports.
Yeah, it might, right?
Might.
My gut is telling me it won't normally.
Okay.
But it could, exactly as you said. I think that's the key here, if they get a kill.
A couple kills will need to be found. Varian showing into mid lane, clearing out the wave. There's a time stop onto Uther that does have reduced armor on it as well. But here, they step towards core on the side of Storm Esports. Massive Shove will not connect onto anyone, so that will be full cooldown onto that one. 15 seconds to go. Pulse Bomb connects onto BBJ. He gets just the chunked, but the Divine Shield comes through. Tracer with the Light Bomb tries to find something here. Varian jumps into the bunker. Still no level 20 for the side of Diamond Hands, but Ivy Tinks is getting very low. The stuns come through, and Varian is going to get yoinked around. He is able to get to the bunker. Caesar Cell with 300 HP, trying to make the play. Anduin with the yoink, but Urel with the damage, and Varian goes down. Dequaza low, a lot of members low on the side of Storm Esports. BBJ needs to spread that pathogen around. Tracer tried to do the parting gift, little blink in dash, but oh my Ev, she gets chunked. Gems will be dropped, not picked back up. But here's the other factor, Grubby. We see a bottom lane keep go down. Mid lane keep, actually moving to mid lane keep if we can see that right now. They go for that still.
Yeah, that's fantastic job by Storm. They realized in all the confusion, not only did they get 17% on the core, but they made enough time for the babies bottom to kill the keep. Tracer now stepping forward, needs another yoink. Feels bad when you're stressing your healer that much with these aggressive moves, but I totally get the 4-on-4 by Diamond Hands. It's pretty much their only chance.
Light Bomb will be cleansed out by Urel because she has Seraphim, so she's got an 8-second cooldown onto that one realistically. Overkill from Ivy Tings will find the kill into Tracer. There's a lot of gems on the ground as Nintori pops the bunker once again. Dequaza looking, sharking for a Righteous Hammer. Some slows out onto that Oil Slick. Ardent Defender perfectly timed right there to eat some damage. Varian comes back in. Commandeer Odin comes down once again. We've had such a long engagement. There was 100 seconds in between that top lane push, and now this push in towards core once again. We have Tracer did for 40 seconds. Maiev is working her way back into the engagement. Dequaza gets the Righteous Hammer. It's the fight that never ends, Grubby, as this is a Caesar Salad who will go down. The taunt is going to allow the Tychus to be able to get the damage in. Dequaza trying to chase on the right. Nintori trying to back off on the left. We have a time, or not a chronic conditions. We have What? Dequaza? No, this is just mean. All right, well, Chromie goes down finally. Dequaza might have Hearth, but then decides to insta-mount and go to core. And this is going to be another game over to the side of Storm Esports. But before they end the game, they want to get as many kills. They need to bolster their stats into this season of CCL. The GGs are called, and that'll be map number 2, Tomb of the Spider Queen over the side of Storm Esports. I made the illusion in map number 1 at the end that there is a massive storm from Storm Esports just clouding Diamond Hands, and it is insane how well Storm Esports played this. And I wrote down an important question during that game, Justin, and I'd love for you to elaborate on this, because at the start of the game, it didn't look that good for Storm Esports, in my opinion, as we were casting that. When and why did it shift back over to Storm from the Diamond Hands kind of advantage?
So I think a lot of it is just that in the early game, pre-level 10, it's a little bit easier for Diamond Hands comp to do things. They were getting a lot of picks with the Varian taunt and the Chromie clocks. And also, if Storm Esports isn't really like all together, then it's very difficult to do much for Storm Esports in the early game. As with like all double support comps, you really need to be able to group up as much as possible. And you're sort of playing for a death ball. So if you're getting picked in a 2v2 or a 3v3, that's not really what you want with the double support comp. You don't really have kill pressure with 3v3s or 2v2s with double support. So it was sort of once the main breaking point was that level 10 where Diamond Hands was winning and they were getting a little too aggressive and they stole the night camp and then they walked through mid, and 9 to 10 they got a pick, and then that kind of just began the unraveling for Diamond Hands. They really just lost all their momentum when they overextended mid there. And double support compositions and straight 5v5s are just really unbeatable if played properly. If you don't have perfect counters to it, you just can't beat them. And Storm just really showing their team fight prowess, and just really, really well played by Storm. Their comp was actually kind of similar to the one they had in the previous game, only I would argue that this one was just even a little bit easier to play. They were both sort of like double support type compositions, just real deathball-y. But this one I think was even easier to play. So they just had to survive until 10, which they did relatively well. And then once it's level 10, they can kind of just win every 5v5, which they did.
Well, it's looking good so far for the side of Storm Esports in the second best of 5 of the day. They are in the advantage spot to take this series in a 3-0, but we're not done by any means. That's only been 2 maps so far, and we're going to take a short little break. In that break, I encourage you to hit !merch Why? Because we got Season 3 merch. You can get yourself some awesome t-shirts, some joggers, some sweaters. Even there's some mugs out there. There's even face masks as well. So be sure to hit !merch in chat while we take this short little break. And when we come back, ladies and gentlemen, we will find out if Diamond Hands can start their own reverse sweep or if Storm Esports will close that on 3-0. Don't go anywhere. You got HeroesCCL presented by Wisdom coming back at you in a couple minutes. Welcome back to HeroesCCL presented by Wisdom. My name's Bahamut, joined by Grubby and Justing for an awesome day of HeroesCCL action, and things are looking like it could be a 3-0 for the side of Storm Esports as we are in our second best of 5 of the day, where Diamond Hands really need to try and reel things back in. And before we find out what map we head to, Justing, what does Diamond Hands have to do? Just give us the playbook. What do they have to do? Draft Cho'Gall? Asmodean?
So
what is it?
It's simple, really. All they need to do is do the exact opposite of what they did in weeks 1 and 3, and then they can be the team that does the reverse sweep. So if they just think, all right, guys, what did we do? It's just anytime you have any decision, do the opposite of that.
Okay.
And then they can maybe play for that reverse sweep.
So they need to get in the mindset of where they've already lost the series.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You got to get in all of these mindsets. But let's actually jump into our map because I believe we know where we're going to be going to for our third map in the second best of 5 of the day. And it is going to be my favorite map in Heroes of the Storm, Grubby. Where are we going to head to, chosen by Storm Esports?
We're going to be going to Towers of Doom.
A nice map that, as you and I and Justin as well have discussed in a previous series today and previous series and previous weekends, that this is not a map that is quickly won. I mean, yes, you can cap all 6 bell towers, but in the state of the game, or at least with the players that we have in CCL, I don't expect there to be a 6 cap to happen anytime soon with the barrage beginning from the Raven Lord or the Grave Keeper. But we get into this draft and, Grubby, I want to poke your brain on this a little bit. What would you be drafting on the side? I'm sorry, I'll be a little more cautious next time. But what would you be drafting if, let's say, you're the shot caller or leader for Diamond Hands? I'm just curious.
I didn't like Godfilth on Abathur because it doesn't utilize his skill set, like Justin said. But I didn't really like him on Tracer either. Maybe he's having a bad day, but he missed a lot of bombs and kills, and he overextended a good few times as well. Now, that matchup was never going to be easy for him. Into Maiev, into Maiev, was it Urel? Anyway,
Urel, Uther,
Urel, Stukov, not easy. But I did see some unforced error, and we can't blame Ping. I think we need to see him on Phoenix. That's the one advice that I would give here.
Okay.
Tracer and Abba, too special, and there were also some disconnects between the front and the back line from Diamond Hands. One time Varian did a taunt on someone, and Chromie just wave cleared with the Dragon Breath. It was really weird and noticeable where that was just not in sync. And both Tracer and Chromie are absolutely ferocious, but they're slightly less reliable sometimes in the damage department compared to a Vala Lunara, who's always ready to surf with the waves. And Tracer and Chromie, they're just a little bit more conditional. So loving this so far, and would like to see another solid damage dealer just coming packing.
As we've had a couple bans and a couple picks about to happen here, Justin, got to get your thoughts on what's unfolding for Towers of Doom.
Yeah, so Lucio is something that I'm thinking about. All the supports are available, but the way that these teams draft, so they forego it completely. I don't dislike that. I think with all the supports up, that is probably objectively the right thing to do. Just stylistically between these two teams, I would have expected to maybe see a little bit more priority onto the Lucio. But Falstad Blaze can't really go wrong with that. The Blaze, like mentioned by Fancy Pants, Blaze and Dahaka are kind of in their own little special tier for offlaners. So picking that up is fine. I can't get mad at a Falstad pick either, but there's the Lucio. I think they maybe could have just waited out on that Blaze pick and maybe just went with the Falstad and Lucio, and that might have been a little bit better for them because Anubarak, you can't really play into Lucio with how easy it is to cleanse everything with the high five. And we've seen Dequaza on Urel in both of the other games, and I think he might just be better at Urel than Blaze anyways. So if they do struggle in this draft, I think that might be kind of the crucial moment there.
I was wondering, yeah, because it was like Urel's been a very strong factor for Desquaz. A little surprised to see the swap onto Blaze immediately, but I believe in the previous 2 maps, Blaze was very early priority. Was an early priority pick for the side of Diamond Hands in their draft. So I think this is an opportunity for Desquaz to flex a little bit of his solo lane skill set. And Zeratul, Stukov ban. Okay, so they're trying to mitigate a hero that BBJ's good on. And, you know, I said it for the first game and I'll set it for this game. After that second Tomb of Spider Queen game, I looked at the BBJ healing once again, and it was 50,000 more than the opposing side Anduin. So it was like 50k to like 100k essentially in the healing. So BBJ just really, really performing well on these supports and flexing a little bit of his pool. He's played Lucio, he's played Stukov. He's not going to be able to play either of those on this map. Curious to see what his priority will be, and it's going to be Malfurion. What do you think of the pick so far, Grubby?
Well, it's interesting because I thought that they were not prioritizing heal because they figured, hey, either we're going to get Lucio, Brightwing, or Stukov. Even if you pick Lucio and ban Stukov, we still get Brightwing. But then they go with the Malf. And we've seen it before, that Malf was elected above someone else. And Springy! Cat! Why Malf? Maybe to like enable a Tracer usually? Like, would Tracer be good here?
Justin?
I think that might be... That was kind of what I was thinking too, is that they were maybe considering the Tracer last pick, because otherwise picking the Malf does seem a little bit strange. You have the protection from Bunker, but that alone doesn't really feel like it's enough to justify a Malf pick over a Brightwing here, especially when nothing on the side of Diamond Hands in their first 3 picks really screams like Brightwing counter. None of them really are, so maybe even like a Hammer or something else weird I could see coming out from Rutzo. Oh, it's just the Sylvanas. But yeah, BBJ, this was the Malf was the hero I believe that him and Lauber had their fun inting game on BOE with. So maybe the reverse sweep for Diamond Hands is in the works.
Was that Ariel that BBJ played?
I thought it was Malf.
I might be misremembering things.
I might be wrong.
I swear there was an Ariel last weekend as well from Storm Esports, but either way, we'll have to check the notes. We're loading into the map, Justin, and we got to do the most important thing of the broadcast, and we got to get your breakdown analysis on who will win this Towers of Doom game.
It was Brightwing, actually.
Oh, it was Brightwing. Okay, maybe that's why then. Maybe he's avoiding it. He's scared.
Yeah.
Overall, I think Storm's comp is still pretty good. I don't think either team, though, has just a definite win in the draft. I think the drafts are relatively even. I do think that Storm is looking just considerably stronger overall, so I'm expecting them to win. But Diamond Hands might be doing the anti-reverse sweep playbook trick where they intentionally reverse sweep, so we'll have to find out. But I think Storm's looking a little bit stronger right now.
Storm is looking strong, and we are loaded into Towers of Doom. Justin, thank you for your breakdown analysis, and we'll see you after this game. There's a lot still to discuss, but let's introduce these teams, because this could be the final map of the day here on HeroesCCL. Kelsier on the Lunara, Nintori on the Urel, Got Filth on the Li Ming, Balamar to play the Lucio, and Caesar Salad on that Anubarak. That is your Diamond Hands roster. Over in the red, looking to close out in the 3-0, we've got Storm Esports, BBJ on the Malfurion, Lauber on the Muradin, Ivy Tings on the Sylvanas, Rutzo on the Falstad, and Desquaz to play the Blaze. The thing we didn't really talk about a lot here, Grubby, was the Li Ming on played by Got Filth, which I'm really excited about, and I struggle to kind of lean into one side or the other. Diamond Hands looking weaker in just the execution. Storm Esports draft, not the biggest fan of it here, but I'm going to lean into a Storm Esports win. I think they got the 3-0 in the realm of possibilities. But we have just, oh my god, I want to get your thoughts here. There's actually a lot of damage into Caesar Sal, but he's actually just going to get chunked for like 30% HP.
In the Netherlands, it's very popular to play soccer, aka football, right? Football, soccer, whatever.
Sure.
When you're young. And the lower division kids, they actually don't play with 11 per team. They play with like 7 per team. And it's called F Division. And the F Division tends to just everyone chase the ball without any strategy. And that's how it becomes kind of a derogatory term, the Effies or the Effies in Dutch. And they kind of look like Effies there, Storm, with the 5 of them going. And they kind of got F'd as well, as the 5 of them walked through the left side bush, got 4-man impaled and 4-man arcane orbed. But no punishment. I feel like normally when you get set up like that from Caesar Salad and a juicy arcane orb, there should be some kills on the other hand, BBJ got pretty big moonfires as well on multiple members, so they did get healed again. But yeah, try not to get F Storm and throw charge. Muradin, he's fine.
Muradin's fine for now. I do want to point out we have the Light of Karabor at level 1 for Yrel, so no Dauntless for the 35 armor into the Blaze, so a little bit more sustainability in the rotations that we'll be seeing. Both of the Sapper camps should be cleared out without getting any sort of charge value. A little bit more pressure in favor for the side of Diamond Hands. Storm Esports looking to just defend, actually. Caesar Salad's the one to aggress into the face. As Lauber Dwarf tosses in, he doesn't have the Dwarf block at level 1. He actually went for more sustainability with a third wind. So right now, he's just tanking damage. Doesn't have a Dwarf toss. Actually, he just got off cooldown, but it doesn't matter. First blood goes over the side of Diamond Hands. Rutso gets the barrel roll away, and that's going to be a nice kill in favor for this Diamond Hands crew, though it doesn't really delay out anything around objective phases because Muradin will respawn in 3, objective phases about 30 seconds away.
Yeah, first blood for Diamond Hands. So far, I like Godfilth a smidge better on Li Ming than his other two so far, and I think that's important. I think he needs to be on something that can threaten and kind of make his own plays. Kind of like what Tracer should be able to do. sorry everyone at home, you can't see it, but Lauber's making a little masquerade cosplay comment here. We have just a second here, Grubby, and oh wait, hold on, let me hold on my thought right now, because the dive is in, the body blocking is set up by Lauber, and he is going to be setting up the kill into Lunara. Sylvanas does get the channel onto that one. Rutso with the channel into bottom lane. Does he have flight up and available? Yes, he does, if he wants to try and jump onto this right side, if he's needed, but right now this is going to be the false set pushing into bottom. Now, Grubby, I just wanted to make a mention because I completely spaced on this when it came to our first and second game in this series. Got Filth, nice blink. We're going to need some comms at some point for this game because we haven't actually jumped into either comms. I'm just now realizing, like, we should probably listen to these teams at some point, so we'll have to keep that in mind. Yeah, we are running out of games. Like, I didn't think about it until we were on break. I'm like, we haven't been in comms yet for this series, so my apologies, everyone. We will jump into some comms. 10 minutes Diamond Hands and then 10 minutes Storm, and we grab a tea.
Grab a tea, like
grab a cup of tea.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought.
Oh my god. You thought I just went full. Oh my god. I mean, there's many words to start with the T. A t-shirt, usually.
I don't know what I was thinking on that one. It just, it's.
I was thinking, is it weird that I didn't say cup of tea? Like a tea, yeah. I guess that's just me not being a native English speaker.
I thought it was like grab like a timeout or something like that. I'm like, yeah, we can take a break during the game. We'll just pause it. We'll let the players sit and pause, and you and I can sit here and take a timeout and then just chat. But no, I do think that we can listen to these teams at some point in this game. But either way, it is going to be continued rotations around the map. The first objective phase has come through, and it is going to be in favor for Storm Esports as they've gotten 8 shots into Diamond Hands. Storm Esports only taking 4 shots from that top left altar.
Yep. Well, I think we need to get any chance we can get in order to do some comms.
Sure.
But maybe this is a bit too early. We'll wait at least until level 10, because that's where people turn on the pain train. This could be like the split situation, right?
Typically, this objective is just traded by solo lane and the bottom lane is pushed in, so hopefully around the level 10s we'll see also like a single objective phase that everyone has to collapse around, and that'll be some fun breakdowns. But actually, as I look at the mini-map, okay, Falstad was floating to the left-hand side, but it's just Aquaza to slow down Nentori, giving the idea that there's a threat and delay, but I don't think any threat or delay should be had from the Storm Esports side. Yeah, they just will continue to siege in through bottom lane, and it's going to be a trade onto the objective phase. Really exciting stuff so far from both sides as it's 2-1 in kills. Diamond Hands in the advantage for said kills.
The split as you preordained by the solo laners, and just 4 points apiece. Caesar Salad actually starts with a cocoon. He's looking to kind of accelerate this game, but there's the sleep silence from the Malfurion on Sylvanas. Haunting Wave, and they miss the perfect interrupt CC time during the time window where she could use a Haunting Wave and gets away. And I feel like if you're a little bit more on point, you get the kill there, actually. I think Diamond Hands had everything they needed to kill her, and they didn't. They're dropping the ball a bit today.
There was a really good wave of force on the far side of the wall to just pull that pull the Sylvanas back into the engagement with that wave of force from Li Ming. Unfortunately, as you were mentioning, it's just not going to be enough. Ventori is going to channel the Righteous Hammer, get that movement speed, and just rush back towards the friendly, safe side of this top lane. And our single objective phase, which is going to be in the bottom of the map, will be coming up soon, and I think that one will be comms to jump into. And you know what? Let's do this ahead of time. Not to jump in the comms, but who do you want to get into for this upcoming objective phase?
Okay, let's see. Well, I think it only makes sense that we go into Storm first, since they've earned it so far. They've won most of the games.
Sure.
Two out of two. That's most.
You want to head in right now while we have the altar coming up? Let's go in.
Yep.
That's fire.
Where's the kill, IB? You coward.
Okay, Lava is in.
Okay, Lauber's going full Masca.
I'm coming.
I had to stop them, otherwise.
What? I was already at our
I
fort.
mean, I'm pretty sure we just skip this.
Yeah, we don't have gas.
Yeah.
They have
Just skip this.
everything.
Let's just push. Fine. We're chilling.
They're probably on our
sure.
camp. Or threatening it.
I mean, they're 5 there.
I'm top.
We're gonna fight
Yeah,
it. We
they're
get
5
top
5
forward.
5
We get top forward.
Yeah,
No problemos.
They might play to dive us.
I'm coming around. I'm coming around.
Kinda need to do something,
They're
boys.
coming around. They can't dive. They can't dive.
Did I come?
They definitely can dive.
Okay.
Heroes
I'm
not
coming,
here.
I'm coming. I'm not coming.
Good job.
I'm staying top. You guys got this.
Alright, I guess I'm never figuring it so
Actually-
Falstead. He's too bored. He's going crazy.
I'm dead.
It's actually.
He's actually too bored.
I get a mid wave. No problemos.
Well, it's not lying. He told us he'd run it down.
Yeah.
He's holding draft
Wait, the
hostage.
camp is up.
Yeah.
The camp is up.
There.
I'm coming.
Jumping in.
Oh my
Noob
god.
above.
I'm fucking them
Let's
up.
go.
Oh my god, I'm so good.
Like, look at
I'm breaking web. Okay.
what the fuck. Okay, too far.
Yeah, that's done. Oh wait. I did.
An exciting and explosive invade onto that camp, Grubby, yielding a sapper camp for the bottom lane, and a lot of really kind of lackadaisical comms as it's like they're getting pressed in bottom lane. It's like, I'm coming bottom, I'm not coming bottom, I'm pushing top, I'm not coming bottom. Like, just calm. I'm like, kind of like bored.
Held the point right before the climax of its capture, so he was able to take those sappers from them. Grab him by the sapper camp. Very, very nice job there by Storm getting that and a few kills. And yeah, like you said, very relaxed comms.
There's going to be combo into Dequaza. He actually starts to turn things around into a new Breck. The bunker does come down from the Blaze. Caesar Salad really caught between a Storm Esports roster and a literal bunker as Falstead gets the flank, does, but Rutso in so hard into Lunara that she is able to get the burst, and that is going to be a trade in kills. Blaze trying to back away. Single altar is up and available, and that Gust actually was a massive misplay from Storm Esports.
Yeah, Rutso got a little too excited there and blew his gust in the wrong direction, right on top of Lunara. Pretty crazy. Now Diamond Hands gets a small reprieve with Falstad still dead.
Falstad dead for 6 seconds. Flight dead or down for the next 37. On top of that, Lunara poking onto Dequaza. Urel jumps in, might have the Righteous Hammer to set up this potential kill, but it actually bops Dequaza away, and Lauber jumps over the wall trying to get a defensive position against Got Filth, throwing out a lot of big combos. But here's Caesar Salad zoning and making some room for the rest of Diamond Hands to be able to get this sapper camp. And Falstead goes back into doing some double soak to match Dequaza, or at least to match what Dequaza is typically doing, just to make sure that experience still comes in for Storm Esports.
3 and 3 in kills, 28-24. Storm may have been very comfortable, but they're not actually winning by a lot. Or at all. I would say XP matters more than 4 points. And it feels like they've been winning, but with that little mini throw in the center,
Yeah.
I feel like they've given up almost all of their advantage.
Oh, they're going to try and gain that advantage back with a dive into mid lane, but it won't actually connect onto anyone. I'm looking at the experience breakdown as well, and yeah, like that there's just equalization in the heroic kills. We see a slight advantage to the side of Storm Esports as they try and invade this camp once again, but It's just going to be leashed back to Lunara. Combo in from Li Ming. BBJ takes a lot of damage. Hammerings out from Falstad. He's got flight up and available if he needs it. And Lauber is just so far on the left-hand side. Pops the avatar form. There's going to be a cocoon onto the Blaze. No bunker available from him because he's sitting inside that cocoon. And that is Lauber a little far forward. Will go down. Ardent Defender used. Jet Propulsion from Blaze. Triple Alter Phase. I'm expecting 2 out of 3 of these to go over the side of Diamond Hands.
Yeah. Maybe 3 out of 3 if they can do more. Look,
crazy.
this fort is not a great bastion of defense that it once was. BBJ is getting hit hard. Just actually into the tower line, but not by much. Steakwaza misses Jet Propulsion. Leaping Strike to get away for Lunara. Fort, kill that fort finally, and they do. All right, fort is gone. They can actually counterattack. I think that's the big strength here, that you can counterattack. Oh, Nintori, did he bite off too much? Yeah. You know, that absorbent defender that he used to block a single Blaze propulsion without follow-up actually comes back to bite him in the buttocks now, as he didn't have it anymore when he needed to. Still, that's a 5 shots. And at this point, I don't think that Diamond Hands can be greedy anymore. No. Lauber's the one being greedy, thinking of interrupting top left. So it's like you said, Bahamut, 2 out of 3. But with the benefit of that bottom fort as well. Though, had Urel survived, small chance to get 3 out of 3, though then again, maybe not. Murden's was already back.
The constant invades from Diamond Hands onto the Storm Esports side of the map is just looking really good as the momentum shifting drastically to the Diamond Hands side. 16s are up on both sides. We do have Retso flying back in to this bottom lane engagement. Got Filth looking for some combos as Sylvanas locks down the tower with her Black Arrow. Caesar Salad will be the target. There's a cocoon on the Falstad, but it's immediately cleared out. Wailing Arrow from Sylvanas will be utilized, but I don't know how much, if any, value it actually gains. Dequaza taking tower shots. Lauber will not be able to connect with the Storm Bolt, and another double objective phase will be coming up fairly soon in the mid-bottom position. How do the members of Storm Esports start to reel this back in? Because after that mid lane barrel roll gust to try and make a kill happen into Li Ming, it seems like Storm Esports just cannot get their foot back in the door. It's like they've just been completely shut out of this Towers of Doom game for now.
Yeah, 25-14 in tower shots. If Storm was relaxed then, the question is, are they still? And we may actually get a chance to have a Diamond Hand comes. Let's see how this one goes at first. Big armor debuff on Malf, now armor buff. He comes out 25 armor, and there's the Tranquility, but he's getting all in. Malfurion goes down, BBJ down. Caesar Salad counterattack is in full swing, but he gets away. Storm is looking to salvage what they can in this 4v5. Diamond Hand's going in. They want more blood. 1 kill, 2 kills, maybe a 3rd. Oh, Rutso with the Thunder Strikes killing Li Ming. That's kind of unexpected at this stage in the fight.
Li Ming actually falling there was a little surprising. Double alter phase. We could see 4 shots into the Storm Esports core. Maybe these will be traded. Diamond Hands, actually, I feel like they could go for both. There's 2 dead on the side of Storm, right?
I think Murden and Falstad can buy a lot of time. They need kills. They may not get either in a 4v3 unless they make a very quick kill. Well, that
like
helps
this?
a lot. Yep, like this, and that.
Well, Falstad's able to pick up his 80th stack on the level 1 Gathering Storm. Lauber might try and delay out a little bit here around the mid position. Lunara has the channel for bottom. Righteous Hammer into the turn-in point. Does reduce the armor of Murden, and Lauber has to Dwarf Toss away. Lunara gets the shots. Lauber looking for another Stormbolt to delay out. Falstad dead for 34 seconds. Steakwaza back in the mix right now.
Oops, so Nubrak comes in. This seems like it could actually be the beginning of the end if Storm Esports keeps clowning like this, which, for lack of a better word, I think does feel like what might be happening. And piecing together several different pieces of evidence. As Sylvanas gets all in, Leaping Strike number 1, Leaping Strike number 2, with the 10 armor from BBJ, plus the heals from the Tranquility. He is keeping Ivy Things alive. Diamond Hands doesn't look like they're taking any damage, though.
Every fight, it just looks awkward. Honest to God, every fight just looks awkward on the side of Storm Esports, to be blunt here. It just, like, you go from the dominance, the control, the synergy of Storm in games 1 and 2, and you look at this right now, and it's just like they're flubbing every single team fight. They can't seem to get enough damage, or it's such split priorities in their shot calling. It's kind of a crazy Towers of Doom game, and I don't know if Storm Esports is just playing it up or having a laugh, but this is kind of starting to really look good for Diamond Hands to start reeling back the series, as the shots from Boss will go into the Diamond Hands side of the map, though it only takes them down to 21 HP, where Storm Esports has 6. But Towers of Doom, Grubby, it's not over by any means. I've seen a lot of games like this really swap when it comes down to those final shots. It's possible for Storm Esports to bring it back, but it's a big hill to climb.
Murden getting attacked, Lobber, heavy casts, wave of force, leaping strike, ×2 is death. And you know, I think sometimes as casters, you and I or anyone can kind of get stuck in framing the narrative in this way where one team is losing because we're expecting them to win, but we mustn't forget that Diamond Hands is winning this. They are actually playing so much better than game 1 and 2. True. And while they may have needed maybe 1 or 2 missteps that were not strictly necessary, they're just playing legit. Like, Li Ming's been hitting quality shots all game, and where Caesar Salad did get picked off a couple of times in a less than glorious fashion, he's been stepping it up as well. Kelsier with the relevant leaping strikes, and especially I think Valamar has been just dominating on Lucio with the very important high fives, and the speed boosts and the heals, and even the finishing blows. I think Lucio here and his play is proving to be a very, very strong pick. They managed to earn their way to level 16. Before that, Lucio can sometimes feel a little weaker in the healing department. Not anymore. So it kind of coincides with Lucio's power spike as well. Diamond Hands winning. And Rotso is flying in again.
Well, the rest of Storm Esports, I think, was a little late to the party. Rutso had their own idea of what they wanted to do, and this is just big burst.
It was a win condition point, actually.
Yeah,
so
it is, yeah.
Let's be clear that he's trying to prevent the apocalypse.
I think it was a little too early of a over aggressive flight right there. I don't think that was really necessary because I think Blaze was rounding the corner. He had a flame stream that he could have utilized as the observer catches that right there. Thank you. This is going to be Dequaza going down. Sylvanas is the lone defender, and Valamar has the channel. 6 shots will rain out. And ladies and gentlemen, we are not done just yet. It's going to be 6 shots raining out. Diamond Hands start clawing their way back into the series. Diamond Hands will be able to take map number 3, Towers of Doom. We are not done just yet. No 3-0s today, ladies and gentlemen. It is going to be a continuation of the series. And, like, I don't know, Grubby, like, that... Storm looked weird there, and I gotta bring Justin in here, and I want to get your thoughts on everything that we saw in that Towers of Doom game. Every single thing.
All right, every single thing. Okay, so the early game, it was very back and forth up until when they were both about 28. It was 28 to 28 shots in the mid game after a pretty back and forth early game. Nothing too crazy happening, and then you get the invade where we heard their comms. They seemed where we heard Storm's comms. They were really calm. It felt like Rutso really brings a lot to comms, and Storm was really feeling themselves in that moment. And then after that was kind of when things sort of fell apart. The Falstad, they maybe got a little bit too excited, and the Falstad goes for the fly mid. They kind of int that a bit. It was a bit of that was the real moment that felt like things sort of fell apart for the side of Storm Esports. And that's where Diamond Hands really just took the game and ran with it. It went from 28 to 8 to down to 25 to 14 to 21 to 6. They were just... It was a drastic just drop for shots for Storm Esports after that moment. So that was really the big key turning point. I think they were getting a little bit too overconfident on the side of Storm Esports. And Diamond Hands looking way better in this game, in Game 3. It feels like they really are trying to get that reverse sweep in the playbook. That was maybe their strategy all along, is they're trying to get the reverse sweep. But also we did mention that it does feel like Storm always has their one inti game in the series, and I'm not sure if Tomb was quite enough, because they did win that game pretty handedly after the early game. So maybe this was actually us watching Storm's one earned inti game that we like to call. But I'd say overall, Ibtings on Storm, even though they lost, would be, I would say, kind of the unsung hero of the game. He's just a really consistent player. He almost never dies in these fights, and he always does a ton of damage, but that's not enough to carry them when the rest of his team's kind of listening to clown music. And Nubarak was looking a lot better for Caesar Salad. Gotfilth was looking tremendously better on the Li Ming. I think having him on Li Ming looks much better. And also Dequaza, I think, looked a little bit shaky in the off lane up against Nintori on Urel. I think that Blaze is probably not something that Dequaza looks great on, and Nintori just looked a lot better in this game on Urel. But overall, Diamond Hands bringing it back. They played angry, played good.
And I don't want to take away from the Diamond Hands victory as well, because I think Diamond Hands did have a lot of outplay moments as we're looking back at some of these recaps. And when we talk about like MVP potential, it's got Filth on this Li Ming, just so much control, so much damage everywhere, and constant as well. Kelsier on the Lunara did have some really good reads as to the false dead flights, the burst ability with this Lunara, with her poison and everything. So just we got to give credit where credit's due for Diamond Hands, because not only did they win that in a strong fashion, but it was just also consistently well played throughout that game from this Diamond Hands side of things. And I believe we are getting ready for map number 4, and I'm excited to find out where we're going to be going to, because this series, it is really starting to ramp up right now. And I kind of hope that Diamond Hands, actually not kind of, I hope that Diamond Hands can take us to a map number 5 through Battlefield of Eternity, because this will be map choice of Diamond Hands, choosing the Battlefield of Eternity, meaning that Storm Esports have opted for first pick as the losing team. And we go to Battlefield, more brawling, Grubby, more team fighting. We're going to see some drastically different drafts, or are we going to be kind of in the same wheelhouse for both of these teams? Some Anubaraks, some Muradins, maybe some Li Mings?
Wouldn't mind seeing some Garrus as well, depending on how the bans go. I think there isn't a lot of space for tank bans these days. Plus, I don't think there's as big of a difference between some of the tanks and how you counter them as there is with healing. So Stukov, I think Stukov is still good here. Right wing, not as important, though we've seen some global drafts here, and I think she's fine, honestly, and she shuts down a number of enemy picks, like a Tracer sometimes, or something like that. But I think, Stukov is a big priority. Junkrat, Stukov, and then Zarya. They're just straight up going with the anti-player, the anti-personnel ban. The only player that's really feared for is Zarya, Retso.
Retso has very much earned that Zarya ban in previous weeks of CCL, and pretty much anything I've actually ever seen Retso play in, that Zarya is devastating. And we're looking at some bans here. I'm waiting to find out what this last one is going to be from the side of Diamond Hands. I wonder if they consider the Stukov ban. Maybe maybe even Vala ban. That Vala has been banned out consistently in the series. She hasn't been, so will this be a quick snap for Vala for Storm? No. It won't, Justin.
I guess not. I was really expecting the Vala. I think Diamond Hands is going to be happy to take a Vala here in the 1-2. At least that's what we would expect with Minara being banned.
Plus what?
Probably Blaze. I mean, probably Blaze just because it provides the bunker for Vala. I would assume that it's that. The Haka is still available though, and teams have been really prioritizing that. I think if there's any kind of like, they take the Blaze, but not the Vala. I think that might be a huge mistake if Storm wants it. It seems like some teams maybe just vastly prefer or don't like the playstyle that Vala gives you, because it is a lot different. You aren't playing to kill the enemy frontline with burst with a one-shot. You're playing to have long, drawn-out, sustainy fights. So not all the teams maybe prefer that playstyle to the other one.
There's that Vala coming through for the side of Storm. They're going to pair that into the Muradin once again. So a good core for the side of Storm. A good start for the side of Diamond Hands. But Grubby, what are your thoughts on everything that is unfolding? Was this a strong start for Diamond Hands?
Yeah, I do think it's a strong start. And I think they may have made a mistake as well. Like, I kind of agree with what Justin said as well, in that with Lunara being gone, and Vala being picked and not taken by them, they are kind of missing out on some of the best DPS. But we've still got Li Ming, worked fine last game, can do it again. They've still got Hanzo, who I think they can play. I think Kelsier can play that. And they're both really good for this map. So Li Ming, Hanzo would be a fantastic follow-up. Ming banned, so what else have we got? And now we're starting to worry, like, is there still enough DPS left? Is it going to be like Tychus Hanzo, which is a little bit more wonky? But I do love the Blaze Anubarak frontline. I mean, they've got good memories of Anubarak, right? He's their only tank win so far in this series.
Could we see a potential Cassie adjusting to maybe blind the Vala a little bit and have some dive buddy with the Blaze and Anubarak?
Possibly. I think their last pick can be really, really flexible.
Okay.
I'm a little worried that Storm might get baited into trying to do some double support thing like they did on Tomb. Because if they do, I expect them to pick Mephisto and just lose. So I don't really expect Storm to do it, but the option is still available. I think that in that game, Lauber on the Maiev could have probably been Muradin and they still would have won. So, but no, they're doing something else strange with the Chen coming out again. Dahaka's up. Urel's up. All the offlaners are available, and they opt to go for the Chen, which is very strange. And yeah, Chen double support Vala. This is kind of hate this.
Maybe it's like a wandering keg. You peel the Hanzo into the Stormbolts of Murden or something like that. That's the realm I'm thinking of. But speaking of peel, it's going to be a Falstad to come in as well. So no Mephisto from the side of Diamond Hands, but the Falstad is going to have a good gust disengage potential. And actually, even then, like, let's say the wandering keg is the choice. You gust away the entirety of Storm Esports. Wandering keg, I don't believe will get gusted. So you've now isolated Chen with that gust. So this could be a Diamond Hands win, but I do want to get your breakdown analysis and thoughts on all of this, Justin, as we've got you while we load into Battlefield of Eternity.
So I still think overall, actually, that Storm's comp is probably better.
Okay.
The Chen has the option to go with the Elusive Brawler at 7, which should theoretically counter a lot of the damage coming out from the double auto attackers on the side of Diamond Hands. So it's going to be pretty hard to actually kill the frontline. Murden also has the option to go into Reverberation at level 4. Maybe we'll see Murden stop taking the Thunderclap thing at 4. I'm hoping that we see Reverberation or the Stormbolt at 4.
You think 2 claps is bad?
If you don't take the healing static at 13, yeah, and I think the fire at 13 is just better right now. It's just weird to me that they're all taking it but he could go Reverb this game, which shuts down the double auto attackers. They also have the Chen who can do that, and I think it's going to be really hard to get onto the Vala. But we'll find out right now, I guess, if it's going to be a reverse sweep in the making, or if Storm Esports is going to do a repeat of their BOE game from last week.
Well, it's definitely possible. The reverse sweep cards, well, they've been dealt out, and we'll see if Diamond Hands can actually play the right hand, because it looks like just about everyone has loaded into the map. And Justin, thank you for the breakdown as always. We'll see you after Battlefield of Eternity, because it's all loaded up and ready to go, ladies and gentlemen. We have got in the blue, Diamond Hands, got Filth on the Falstad, Caesar Salad playing the Anubarak, Kelsier on the Hanzo, Nentori on the Blaze, and Valimar will play the Malfurion. Over in the red, we're looking at Storm Esports. We've got IBTings on the Vala, Rutso on the Stukov, BBJ on the Anduin, Lauber to play the Muradin, and Dequaza to play the Chen. I love a good Chen, a little Chen W from time to time, some Wandering Kegs Grubby, so I'm leaning to Storm on this one as well, but how are you feeling about this matchup, and maybe who do you think is going to take Battlefield?
I actually like Diamond Hands' drafts quite a bit better.
Okay.
I do think Storm has got some strong going for themselves. And I'm actually remembering some Runso solo lane Stukov games.
What?
You can see where he is as well. Like, he's thinking of it from an off-lane perspective. I think Cassandra and I, my wife, I think we won once against him when he was Stukov solo lane against us on Hanamura. Which, that's a pretty special pick for Storm League. Not everyone can comprehend those big brain strats. So it's definitely a hero he likes to play. It feels out there. Here you've got a guy that plays Sylph, Falstad, and Tracer, and Zarya. And then Stukov, it's a big different role. But let's see how it goes. I think it's fascinating. We don't see a lot of Anduin Stukov. And will it be the cake or the Storm, Earth, and Fire? I think we've been served with a very unique draft, and I intend to enjoy it together with chat.
Oh, I cannot wait to get into the 10 talent tiers for this game, and that's going to be a nice lurking Armand to got Filth. It is also going to be a reactive Ballista Spores for the Stukov. It kind of feels like Storm Esports, they're changing up what is our meta of solo laner top, core 4 bottom. They're doing this kind of 2-3 split, which seems to be good for now, but Falstad flies down to the bottom lane, offsetting the player count, and there's going to be a nice route for Malfurion. The Emerald Dreams putting Lauber to sleep for a few seconds as Lauber considers jumping back in, but there is a Beetle in lane that does show that he's trying this. Retso has rotated down from the top lane, so it's 4v4. Healing Pathogen being spread from player to player.
Strange
Big
route.
burrow charge in from the Anubarak as Caesar Salad's a little split, but Lauber has to Dwarf Toss away. He does have a block at level 1 for the physical armor, and BBJ has the heals. And the damage is good from Hanzo and Anubarak. They steal away the camp on the side of Diamond Hands, or I guess gain the camp on the side of Diamond Hands. Nothing really gained for Storm Esports yet. No kind of counter camp grabbed in the top lane by Chen, though I will say this, Blaze was forced back to Hearth, and he is going to be working his way back into top lane, giving Chen the opportunity to maybe get that camp.
Nice stacking by Vala, 7 Monster Hunter stacks. No, I should call it Puncturing Arrow. Meanwhile, not very much unaverted Hanzo stacking for the simple geometry. But Gathering Storm is coming up nicely, so liking what Godfield is doing so far. All right, you want to cap these camps at about 248. Don't think Hanzo will be done yet with the camp by that time.
Well, maybe after that. No, he won't be. Yeah, good timing from, I believe, Storm Esports. They should be just about getting theirs. There was the camp in top lane grabbed over by Diamond Hands. Chen started it, but then Blaze showed up, and there's going to be the respect from Dayquaza as he eats a lot of stagger damage. The healing pathogen comes through. Ibtings rolls into the face of Falstad, and first blood goes over to the side of Storm Esports. How's mine? How's my first blood?
It's pretty good. I like it.
Thank you. I've been practicing.
Yeah, we should always... Next time we'll try to do it together, and then we go jinx.
We can buy each other Coca-Cola. It's perfect.
Is that how it works? I'm not familiar with the American tradition.
It's well, at least when I was a kid, you say jinx, you owe me a Coca-Cola, or jinx, you owe me a soda. Is actually what we would say.
Seems like profiting from coincidence, but
always.
It's not a big investment. Plus, you're buying your friend a Coke, so
yeah, and you can buy yourself one as well.
Yeah, that's true. You do have that freedom. I love it.
Yeah, you definitely have that option. We do see the first half of the Immortal phase go over to the Diamond Hand side, as we did have Hanzo just serrating or using those serrated arrows into the Immortal, but the Immortals now go to the race potential sides, and we'll see who is going to come out on top of this. Vala, Ibtings on the right-hand side, already getting those autos in. Rutso and Dayquaza zoning. We have a root onto Anduin. He throws out a bunch of combos before he takes a little bit of a nap. We have a flight from Falstad to get into better position as Malfurion is very low, and the fight does continue out with some poking here and there.
Kelsey is coming in from the side, trying to get some of those big scatters. I serrate that one pretty well. He gets 2 scatters into Stukov. This can help him with the quest. And at the end of the day, this looks like a foregone conclusion for Diamond Hands to get the Immortal, but it can get a little inty. Sometimes if you try to get it too fast, too hard, you end up dying for it, and it becomes a mixed bag.
It's a little bit of a mixed bag in this engagement right now, as Rutso is doing his best to defend. Lauber trying to step in as well. A lot of the Diamond Hands members are just committed to trying taking down this Immortal, so Falstad will fall again. Muradin trying to chase in, and Tori is going to be able to back away with the help of the Impales of the Anubrek and the slow from his oil, but here comes the Chastise from Anduin, a lurking arm from Rutso. Lauber dwarf tossing around, getting those stacks of physical armor. He tries to land the Stormbolt, but it's Vala who's able to get the big burst damage with the Hungering Arrow baseline. That Puncturing Arrow from level 1 is going to be at 15 stacks right now, but still, Immortal goes over to the side of Diamond Hands. How much value can it actually get, Grubby?
Well, you get the slightly bigger chunk of XP upon the completion of the objective, just straight up given to you, flat rate. Then, all the XP globe spots were denied. Diamond Hands couldn't pick it up, and Storm did, so they basically earned that back. And then the Immortal got about a tower and a bit of a gate. They suffered 1 death for it, but they could not have afforded to give it away to Storm Esports. Vala was racing it down, so 1 death for that, still feel like it's worth it. Did it do a lot? No, but it was still correct to fight for it in this fashion. But Storm did really well. They had Vala pumping away damage onto the Immortal. Valamar actually had some clutch Moonfires, nearly saved Caesar Salad, but Ibtings managed to finish off the Anubarak, as we have seen about a minute ago or so. So small lead to Storm Esports, except in the structural department. Storm into Battlefield. Oh my god.
Hanzo chasing out, but there's just way too much burst healing, so Kelsier has to back away. Leap of Faith onto Rutso. Chastise connects onto Valamar as the Hungering Arrows are going to be stacking up. Ibtings does have the repeating arrow from level 4 to get the reset utilizing the vault, so burst ability is big for this Vala player, and Acrobat at level 20. Oh man, Grubby, I played in an ARAM and I had Acrobat and I was just dumping in damage. I still lost the game, but I was very proud with my stacking. It's my teammates' fault that we lost, totally, not mine. No.
I believe that. If you were dumping damage, as you say, I believe you.
Yeah.
Then it couldn't have been you.
I had the highest damage in the game, right? So that means that I did my part. My stat was the tallest. But I do want to talk about one quick talent, though. We have Withering Flames for the Chen, which I think is a really nice adaptation because there is a lot of spell power from the side of Diamond Hands, but also we talk about spell power all the time and everyone goes, oh yeah, spell power, that's damage. Spell power also correlates to healing output, so if you hit the Malfurion with this Withering Flame, his healing output is going to be reduced as well. So keep that in mind for the Chen. He might be trying to pressure Valamar with that Flame Belch every single time to just reduce Valamar's healing to maybe Kelsier or Caesar Salad. I think it's just a really nice pickup from Dayquaza.
Yep, true. It seems like one of the most broken talents that doesn't always get picked. 60% spell power reduction,
Right?
4 seconds. Sounds so good. There is the double wind up, and then the fact that it doesn't deal damage. Oh, light bomb miss, strafe. They can definitely get the Hanzo. Nice job there. The slow from Ratso still in full effect, and yeah, Storm is just kind of running away with it now.
That was such a good read from Lauber and BBJ, that the communication to say, oh, Hanzo's probably going to agility over this near wall, let's use the light bomb and the follow-up dwarf toss. Really good read between Lauber and BBJ, and then having that communication in comms to actually nail that combo together so well timed. Just got to call out little mechanical prowesses like that are exciting. And we see a very well shielded Immortal coming in through bottom lane. How can Diamond Hands defend against this?
Well, they're gonna just bump out damage as they can. Hanzo needs some good angles, and always a bit tricky with the gate. You could be aiming for one of your own towers to dub, and then if the tower goes down, it changes. Jen with the flank, big flank by Quaza hits a big root. It's not a root yet, a big super slow on mouth. But at the end of the day, Storm, Earth, and Fire is also a mixed bag, as you can multi-Moonfire, and the Chen player cannot willfully spread his elementals, his little panda pals, so you can get big Moonfires. And keep in mind, for every player you hit with a singular Moonfire, that's plus bonus burst heal on all regrowth targets. So in a way, you know, would Wandering Keg have been better? Light Bomb missing on the fast stop.
Wait till we get the dwarf launch at level 16. At least in the past, I feel like I always see Lauber take this because of the range that you can have, but once you have that dwarf launch, like, oh my god, the light bomb combos could be huge. But let's talk about the combo into Caesar's Cell that forces him to burrow charge away.
Ratso having fun with that arm, just channeling it for so long. It's got that ranged Earthquake as well. There we go, ranged Earthquake on fast stop with the reactive Ballista Spores, Root on an Uberak, but there's not enough bandwidth left to take him down, and that's enough reason for Ratso to push away the Uberak.
Nintori gets the point-blank jet propulsion to Quaza, who gets the stagger out immediately, and Withering Flames applied as well. We have a bit of a delay in what's happening on the map, waiting for the next objective phase, the third one of the game, and we will also have a camp into top, scouted out by this arrow. And without 13s, it kind of seems like Diamond Hand wants to fight, but they don't want to at the same time. Like it's like we want to step in, but we don't, because we're closing on 13s. You're closer. It's scary for Diamond Hands right now. I wouldn't say awkward. They're just trying to choose the most optimal moment to dive in, and it doesn't seem like they can find a window.
Yep, no Hanzo arrow yet. As far as I know, the whole game. There's a very nice route from Ratso over the wall. Illegal. Very, very well played, actually.
Is that long pitch?
That angle.
Yeah, the long pitch is what got the range. Because I was like, how did Stukov throw a weighted pustule that far? Long pitch from level 7, and then you have the virulent reaction, and Vala got hit with a cocoon, but one bullet from the strafe was enough to take down the Hanzo. Really, really good play from Storm Esports. So we have another Immortal phase spawning up, and do you want to jump into some comms for this Immortal phase for either side, Grubby?
Yeah, I think we want to hear from Diamond Hands before potentially it is too late. We're in potentially the 11th hour, so let's see how Diamond Hand gets on with the comeback.
Into Diamond Hands we go.
Really hard, though.
Yeah, because we're not on it.
We need 13 though before we do anything.
D-half.
Yeah, it could be deep blank left actually with SEF. Okay.
I'll find him. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I can
Wait,
summon.
kill him.
Yeah, just hit him.
Oh,
Careful.
where am I?
No stun for 6.
I arrow. Wait, it's big.
I just have a slow off that. That's it.
I can Stukov.
Ah, he's really far.
Let's pull.
Burn.
Ball is racing, but he's
Yeah, I
giving
mean,
it.
we're so deep.
We have to burn.
Yeah.
Wait, maybe we can fight out of the globe.
Can we fight? Yeah.
The walk for CFF though. We're backing up.
I guess we're kind of skilled.
I think I'm bot. I can fly.
That's fine.
Lobies, nice.
Chen might go from here.
He's in the lane.
I'm intervening Hanzo.
All damage on the MO.
I'll fly after this wave.
10 killer from here.
Did you use SEF? No, right?
No, he has it.
I'm free tapped. I'm good.
Cleanse.
Flying.
I'm on Mura.
There's
Oh,
it.
no. I thought he was in sandal for it.
Chen's behind.
Oh, he's back. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I guess for you.
I need bunker, I think. No.
I think you're fine. You're fine.
I need help.
The bunker if you need.
Still fine. I have to go home, but I'll be back.
Still playing it. I think 16 is really huge for us.
Yeah.
Here, why don't plan?
If you guys can stay, I want to web and look maybe.
So you have this
Yeah.
You got silence down.
Let's go.
I'm stunned.
Follow.
Yeah. Wait, I arrow?
Turn him around.
Murmur.
No, stun for 4.
Yeah.
Stun in 4.
Alright, we don't.
Get the globe.
Here, they could have light bomb leap, I think.
Maybe we do this. Tank that on top camp. They're gonna take it with 16 if we don't, I think.
Yeah, we go fast.
Yeah.
Every single call, Grubby, seemed like Diamond Hands were like, we're setting up for a kill. But it's just like this double support just mitigates that every single time from Storm Esports, it feels.
Yeah, that was it a little bit, but it was also a little bit targeting different people.
Oh, true,
Like-
true.
When they call out Muradin, like even as they call it out, like I know there's just not enough abilities left. Like at some point, Caesar Salad, he goes in. Unlucky comes maybe. He's missed a lot of those engages. Doesn't get the stun. At that moment, it's over. Then they're like calling out Mura, but you just know you can't kill a Mura anymore after Anubarak used his stuns. There's not enough left. Plus, he was in the middle of the lane. That's where Hanzo can't kill him.
Yep.
So there is a little bit of lack of understanding, or maybe wishful thinking, I think is more fair, because I think they do know. A bit wishful thinking. Like, maybe we can blow up this guy. It's not looking that good for them.
Hungering arrow chases onto Kelsier, and that does yield the kill. Muradin with that range increase with the Dwarf launch, 40% range increase, and you also have cooldown reduction by 2 seconds as well. A massive wave is approaching through mid lane as Lauber Dwarf tosses in again. Ivy Tings is throwing out a few combos here and there, a few Hungering arrows as well. Those are getting some decent damage as Rutso gets chunked, but the healing pathogens are good. You've also got Dequaza with enough to share. Falstead, I think, getting in a position to try and find a gust angle if necessary. This siege through bottom lane continues with Hanzo respawning in 5 seconds. The Immortals are up and available for the race, and this is Storm Esports with 6-0 in kills, looking to grab another Immortal. If I'm not mistaken, this Immortal will go into the bottom lane, top lane. I actually don't know 100%, but I think they're all equal. Let's talk about the fight though, Grubby, because there is going to be a fight to take place.
Yeah, there was a yoink on Anduin. He still has another one, Leap of Faith. So it's really hard for Diamond Hands to kill anyone at all. Anduin seems like the best target. In comes a light bomb. There's that big jump he talked about. They get the stun on Blaze. It's not quite enough. There's the follow-up stun. Murdin is getting all in. He's got the block charges. There's a bunker. Lauber doesn't have jump yet. Now he does. Arrow is good. Where's the big damage follow-up? We're not seeing it right now.
Here it is with Chen. He dives into the backline. Muradin
nice
does
scatter.
go down. A great scatter to set up the kill into Muradin. Retzo gets a small leap from BBJ, and the defensive, I guess the disengage is in, but Falstead gets a gust. There's a lot of damage into Dequaza. He has got some stagger value, but that is going to be a Chen to go down as well. And I did the quick math. The Immortal, if it was won by the side of Storm, would have gone into top lane, but I don't think that's going to be a case for this one, because this should be a Diamond Hands Immortal. Yeah,
First 2 kills, by the way, for Diamond Hands.
Yeah, that is first 2 kills for them.
50-50. Their keep is actually suffering.
Oh. The top lane keep is taking catapult damage. And Val is actually trying to poke on the right side of the Immortal phase, but there's a little bit of zoning from Caesar Salad. So Vala, I think, is going to say, all right, you know what? They can see us with the beetle that was on that camp. Let's at least grab this camp, get some offset pressure into the lanes, and defend at our fort.
And got both, yeah, go ahead.
Do you want to jump into Storm Esports Com to see how they defend?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, into Storm we go.
Not to fight. We're not to fight. Never mind. Unless shit.
I mean,
Wait
they
for
need
us to-
kills here. Their bot keeps gonna die soon.
Just protect the Ivy. You have to double pull, right?
Yeah, I only have one for a bit.
I can kind of like hold up like this once again.
Yeah.
Spun's down.
And,
Get fast up, man.
He's gonna all.
Get in like
I gotta make you.
Okay.
fast is
They're looking for an arrow or a gust.
Fast is missing. Fast is missing.
They will try to rotate bottom now. You can maybe cut them off.
I have pandas, I'm gonna wait in there.
Yeah, det är fucking bra.
Noob's still up there.
I think he's a solo. Look at this guy.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I body blocked him. That's so unfortunate.
I didn't hit.
He has no D now though.
There's still a big wave top. Coming?
Yes, no.
I got him.
A noob after?
I noob.
First?
No class.
Cocoon.
That's beautiful. It's a tragedy.
Hey, I'm front.
I'm so far.
Yeah.
He's play 20 now, I guess.
No cocoon, no gust.
I got palace.
Takes them really long to kill me. I could maybe just use console. Like if they overcommit on me and Kevin, it's weak.
Some cool insights into how they're playing that, Grubby. I think the biggest takeaway from me is like not a single person panicked when the arrow connected. They were just like, the arrow connected, and they were like, "All right, a new Barak," just like still just shot calling, like no worry.
Also because it's like a peel arrow, right? Like
it is,
it's like a protective arrow, so they knew it didn't have the full weight of a wombo combo or so.
Good sidestep of Caesar Salad for the Stormbolt. It won't connect from Lobber right there, and I think the disengage will be had from Diamond Hands.
I see Gust is available. Arrow in 7, 5, 4.
Does he rip it immediately?
I don't know.
No, I feel like it's way too far of a chase to follow that up, right?
Probably, and the forward, 15%, low health, but not actually missing. They do have that Khazra catapult camp action going top. I feel like you stay here, you circle back, you round back, and you gank the Falstad gankers. And then you kill the fort. I think you want to kill that fort for the passive XP. But it looks like they're actually gonna... So Anubrak is now faking like he's got his team with him. He's faking that to Chen. And in doing so, he makes Chen pull back, which delays the cleanup.
I feel like Lobber was doing the same thing on Murden and bottom lane to the Falstad. He was showing on wave, and Vala, Stukov, Anduin, none of them were showing. So it was like, okay, Chen bottom, Murden bottom, Chen top. What's the actual play? But here's the 20 talents here advantage for the small moment. Lobber tries to land the Stormbolt into Caesar Salad. He is going to be cleansed by the Malfurion, and Vala does have that Acrobat at level 20. Ooh. All of the hungering arrows for Ibitings. We're going to be seeing vault after vault after vault for this Vala, as she's not able to land the hungering arrow right there. And I'm curious really quickly, the bonus damage just from the scaling is 276, and then the baseline on top of it is 307.
300.
Woo!
Yeah.
That's some good damage.
Almost 600 damage on a single arrow, and he can do like, what, 4?
Yep, and that's the damage on the initial hit. There are still the subsequent bounces with the hungering arrow as well, and so it's a lot of good damage that can really pop off from Ibitings, but they have to be able to land those hungering arrows as there's a Stormbolt poking onto the bush on the right side. This is a very tense Immortal phase, because I feel like one by either side, this could be game ending, depending on how much shielding is still available for said Immortal.
Malf has Cleanse again, and Chen now has Elemental Conduit, which actually offers a long route when using the route jump the last. That's really strong into someone like Malfurion. Bunker will be key there.
Oh my god, the tension is it's so high right now as the Immortals sit on defensive positions. We do have a camp on the right side to be grabbed by Ibitings and BBJ. This will be a little bit of pressure through the top lane as the Fallen Shaman camp does offer quite a bit. Seems like Got Filth will try and be able to poke in here and there, but the tension, Grubby. Oh, there's so much tension around this Immortal phase.
Burak getting Stormbolted, Hungering Arrow, let's see. That's a good chunk of his health, about a quarter or so almost. He's going to heal up nicely. Chen on the flank. Diamond Hands has done a great job of recognizing Dequaza's playstyle, the whole series. Constantly those Urel and Chen deep flanks.
It is just very consistent with just Chen, Dequaza finding some way to jump into the backline. That's why you keep seeing Kelsier throwing sonic arrows into what would be like, why are you throwing it into that position? No one should be there. Well, Chen's there consistently, as this seems like it's an attempted wraparound. Oh, Caesar Salad's going to be the target. He gets the burrow charge right out of there. Dequaza going to get hit with the Impale. The fight still continuing as Dequaza doesn't want to get stunned up by the Immortal. And Tori stepping in. Bunkers available. Everything is available for either side as the massive shove will push back Nintori just a little bit. This is also going to be the push comes to shove, so you do get cooldown reduction so long as you shove the target for a specific duration. I don't know off the top of my head how far it actually is, but I think it's like 2 seconds or something like that, a little bit less than 2 seconds of duration of push.
Okay, yeah, I don't know how far that is too, but it's more than 1/4 of his screen, which is what that was. Godfield and Falstad clears top wave again. I don't know why top wave keeps losing. There's like equal catapult pressure, but just kind of the randomness, I guess. Diamond Hand secures a bruiser camp, which is neat, and can't continually. Godfield is looking for Gust location. That's a Gust only on Muradin. He's gonna get, that's not the Gust you want, nor the arrow. That was really disjointed by Diamond Hands. And now in comes the Chen with the root. That gets the cleanse. Blaze, fine as well. And Falstad, he will suffer. He will suffer for the other people getting engaged upon. Stukov drops low though. That's a great kill. Kelsier with the big scatter. That's a 1-for-1. Nice salvage by Diamond Hands. That's a jet propulsion on Anduin. He's got no more safety nets. But there is the raw damage output from Ivy Tinks. There we go. Acrobat, Hungering Arrow, Acrobat, Hungering Arrow. And Chen now left behind, endangered by himself here, and he goes down.
That is the engagement that that is not the engagement that Storm Esports wanted it right there. And Anubrak tries to burrow into Vala, will be able to do so. There's a root for Malfury, and Vala just trying to auto attack for a little hard out right now. Gets the vault away, throws back some arrows. Kelsier, yeah, on this Hanzo has to agility over the wall. And the fight that was looking so good for the side of Diamond Hands is going to be flipped immediately. Gus down for the next 15 seconds because that's Falstad's death timer. And we have Nintori getting pressured by this Muradin, and Muradin has a sliver, a little bit of mana, not a whole lot. Will get the light bomb, trying to lock down Nintori. A great chastise to follow up, an arrow from Hanzo, but not enough damage exists. IAB Tings is back in the mix, but here comes a big burrow from Anubrak. Vala tries to vault away, the scatter arrow comes through, Falstad flies in with the gust, Lauber against the wall, Lauber trying to leave, but he can't go anywhere. It's looking like everything on the side of Storm Esports will fall apart. BBJ trying to back away, but virulent reaction from Rutzo does zone things out. And Grubby, you had made mention of the fallen Shaman camp bottom. That just got the bottom lane keep.
Oh man. So Storm Esports played as if they had a bruiser camp, taking a deliberate 3v4 with great gusto to buy time for the camp pressure, but the camp was the wrong color. So yeah. I mean, they were just hoping that Kelsey is gonna like miss all his scatters, because that happened a few times, and they were emboldened by his missed scatters, and then the fact that Kelsey dropped low, and then they just kept attacking. And I don't think it was rooted in logic whatsoever. And now they've just thrown the game. I don't like using that term. I think it gets overused a lot, just like int and all that. I do think this was a throw, not because Storm was leading, but because they were even. Almost even, maybe 45% on the map. Just deal with the bruiser camp, you force the disengage, and they were buying time, okay? They were buying time for Kelsey or not to go burn the Immortal. Maybe they were 30%, but that was a low odds move, chasing across the map 3v4, and it results in Diamond Hands, after a few foibles and a few misses, finally getting it together, getting the kills they need with some good moves from Caesar Salad. Definitely stronger Caesar Salad in the second half of that game, and it gets them the win. Diamond Hands picks up a very nifty reverse sweep setup match point.
I guess the justing advice was the perfect comment. It just do the opposite of what you've done in the past, and it seems to be working, Justing.
Yeah, Diamond Hands playing exactly from the playbook. They've had enough of getting reverse swept, and they say it's our turn to do the reverse sweeping. So they just go ahead and lose those first two games so that they can bring it back in their reverse sweep. I mean, just that last game though, it was pretty back and forth with not really a whole lot of kills in the early to mid game. Mostly just Storm being a brick wall that Diamond Hands couldn't really penetrate until really, really late in the game. And it all really came down to that level 21 to 21 team fight. And I was really expecting Storm to win that. It felt like Diamond Hands used pretty much all of their major cooldowns for nothing, which was the go button for Storm Esports. But when Storm Esports engages after that, they end up trading 1-for-1. And then that turns into actually a 1-for-2 as the Quasar goes down. And that's not what's supposed to happen in a team fight like that. When Diamond Hands uses all of their ultimates and you have double support and you still lose that extended fight, that's a really bad sign for the side of Storm Esports and a really good sign for the side of Diamond Hands. Because then we had the kind of the back and forth where Storm Esports tries to 3v4 them and it looks really good, but they get a little too excited, a little too over aggressive, too over eager, and then Diamond Hands comes in and just cleans it up. But yeah, Diamond Hands looking a lot stronger, and Storm not looking so hot in this game, especially near the late game in fights.
I'm honestly, I'm reeling from just the turnaround from Diamond Hands. It is impressive. I gotta give credit where it's due for Diamond Hands. They are doing an impressive feat right now, and they are setting up for what could be a reverse sweep. And you know, maybe this is the way they end the curse. It's like, yes, you have to reverse sweep another team so that way you never get it done to you. But we talk about this all the time. It's just, it's a really cool storyline. It's happened to them so much. And if Diamond Hands can shut down Storm Esports, that is a massive win when it comes to our standings and everything as well. And when you also break down, map wins and losses against other teams too. So this is a series that is really, really, really good. And I know we were going to have some good games today, but Grubby and Justin, I didn't think the games were going to be this good today. Like, we are getting some awesome Heroes of the Storm between both these teams, and we're not done just yet. We have one more map in this best of 5 series coming up really, really soon. We're going to take a short little break. We're going to get one more glass of water. We're going to stretch our legs. I encourage you to do the same thing at home. And if you don't feel like stretching your legs and you're like, you know what I'd really like to do? I'd like to check out the prize pool. Well, you can go ahead and use _prize pool to check that out. And if you'd like to donate towards the match arena, it's always very much appreciated. We've hit $4,041.90 because of your support. We really do appreciate all of that support from all of the Heroes of Storm community. But as I said, we're getting ready for that 5th and final map of the day. Don't go anywhere. This is HeroesCCL presented by Wisdom. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, into HeroesCCL presented by Wisdom. I am Bahamut, joined by Grubby and Justin, and we are getting ready for the 5th and final map of this Diamond Hands versus Storm Esports matchup. I was kind of convinced that this was going to be a Storm 3-0, but Diamond Hands said, no. We've got a little bit of a change. We've got some gains. We've had some big stock changes, and it's going to be Diamond Hands putting up a potential victory in this reverse sweep. And we already have our map ready to go. We can find out where we're going to go to for this 5th and final map in this best of 5 series. It's going to be Diamond Hands choosing to take us to Curse Hollow, as Storm Esports, the losing team, opted for first pick priority. As we're getting into Curse Hollow, I need to gauge both of your excitement levels. I want to start with Justin. Where are you at? You at 11, 12, 13? How high?
I'm at a 11 for sure. I'm turned up, as ETC would say to that number. I'm very excited for this game 5. I think it's really cool that Diamond Hands is able to put themselves in this position where, after getting reverse swept, it's in the opposite for them, the opposite position that they're used to, and I think it's really interesting for them to be in that position as a team. Of all the teams, I'd say they're the team that's going to be having the most psychological ups and downs throughout the series or throughout the season so far. It's pretty funny how all of their games or all of their series just seem to be just so chaotic, whether they win or lose. So I think it'd be really good for the script if they can bust out the reverse sweep themselves here.
I think if I'm skimming some stats right now, I think Diamond Hands will probably, at least at this rate, they're going to play the most maps in Heroes of the Storm as they keep going to a Game 5 almost every single weekend. Yeah, it was Game 5, Week 1. No, that was a 3-0 in Week 2. There was a Game 5 last weekend, and here we are, Game 5 once again. But Grubby, same question to you. Where are you at excitement level-wise?
I'm really excited because Storm Esports has the roster of a 3-0 team, but they're 1-2 because they also had a forfeit loss, and now they could be 1-3. Like, if they lose this after going up 2-0, that's a lot of numbers. It's small numbers, but together they create a very interesting, funny narrative where Storm Esports, that have a lot of confidence, that called themselves a top 3 team, could be 1-3 after 4 play days, and that's pretty crazy. And that excites me because Diamond Hands has kept playing better, and Storm Esports has high highs and low lows, where not every player seems to be making the best risk-reward evaluation at various points over the last 4 games.
I really like this Lunara again for the side of Diamond Hands. Kelsier had such a great play on Towers of Doom to be able to just burn down and burst out a lot of Storm Esport members. But we do see BBJ going back to that comfort from map number 1 onto this Lucio. And I feel like this is Storm Esports saying, okay, we got to go with what we know works. We have to basically play the exact same composition as Sky Temple, Justing.
I think this is smart, although picking the Grey Mane early is really risky. There are a lot of counters to it. You can pick a lot of blinds.
Okay.
And just physical armor type. There's a lot of things that shut down Grey Mane. So it's smart, I think, though, to sort of force the game to be played in this Deathball style composition, because that has been, so far in the series, every game that Storm Esports has had just this Deathball type of composition, they've won really hard. And when they haven't had quite that same type of playstyle, it seemed difficult for them. So I on paper, I don't think it's like the best drafting strategy, but for them and for what's working for them, it seems to be a pretty good thing to go with.
Do you ban out the Anubrak here to make HeroesCCL play something different? That it's also I feel like
it's banned.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm literally just looking at the third slot, and I'm like, wait, it was already first ban. So yeah, no, it's actually going to be really forcing HeroesCCL into something different here. Thank you for catching that, Justin. My bad.
All good.
But we look at what's unfolding, Grubby, and I do got to kind of pick your brain at all of this and see what are you thinking about the latter half of this draft after we get through the ban phases.
Well, I always find Hogger quite difficult matchup into these hyper mobiles. So I think for Nintori it will be challenging. He doesn't have a good matchup into auto attackers and hyper mobiles. He likes mages and healers to be. He wants to focus healers and mages generally.
Okay.
And this is a difficult matchup for him. So with the first pick, I like where Storm is going. Looks like they're recreating Sky Temple map. And I think it's a strong draft. They played it strong as well. And it worked really well for them in the first game. Rexar Kharazim. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Kharazim is supposed to give a little bit counter mobility, but his 7-sided is not going to hit anyone relevant.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about the picks on Diamond Hands with the Rexar, and then I'm not a huge fan of Dequaza taking the Blaze here. I think this style of composition lends much better to the Urel, which he played on Sky Temple. The multi-support, the Tyrael Lucio, just support-heavy composition really enables a Urel, but I feel like it doesn't really enable a Blaze whatsoever. And there's the Urel on the other side. It's really weird not taking any real normal frontline main tank. I do like the Urel a lot. I'm curious if they'll go into the Q build, the build that I like to go. It's kind of a main tank build, where you just prioritize armor and damage reduction. I think that would be very, very effective into the dive, meatball, deathball style composition from Storm Esports. The Rexar, though, I don't really understand. I would have preferred to see maybe an ETC or something. I think ETC really would counter the entire enemy side, and Rexar, I think, might be a bit of a liability when these fights happen, because both teams seem to be opting into drafting to fight really quickly and to deathball, and I feel like Rexar might get behind with that. Might be a bit of a liability, but overall, the draft could go either way. It's hard to choose a favorite. I think Diamond Hands maybe has a slightly better draft, and I like the idea of the reverse sweep, so I call for a Diamond Hands win.
I wrote down a Storm Esports win because I feel like this is going to be like, okay, we've been clowning around since Towers of Doom. We're done with that. We're going to go ahead and take the series here. We'll have to see, though, because we're loaded on in, and Justin will see you after this 5th and final map, as we have got on the left-hand side the members of Diamond Hands. We've got Filth on the Urel, Nintori on the Hogger, Kelsier on the Lunara, Valimar on the Kharazim, and HeroesCCL to play the Rexar. And of course, as always, Misha will be played by Misha. Storm Esports in the red on the right will be having Retso on the Greymane, BBJ on the Lucio, IBTings on the Sylvanas, Dequaza on the Blaze, and Lauber to play the Tyrael. Grubby, you know what Justin and I are thinking. We've let you sit there in the kitchen. You've got an entire tray of delicious Heroes of Storm lasagna to break down for us, so please, by all means, can we get a slice? I'm on food today. I don't know. I'm hungry today. I'm sorry. I want lasagna. Anyway, sorry, please.
Well, you want some speckhook?
I would love some, please. We can split the entire cake. Can you say it one more time for me?
Speckhook.
Speckhook.
Oh, very good. Very good. You are
Dankeschön.
a Dutch... You're a Dutch genius. So that's a nice little push, the Sylvanas cheese, 80%. And yeah, I think with the mobility that Lucio and Greymane and Tyrael have, Rexar's got to be real afraid of his body. Misha doesn't have as much survivability as ETC in trying to like interrupt sanctification, if that's what it's going to be, and I think it is. ETC can just kind of hit W, right? Face melt. I think that's why Justin likes ETC here as well. Kind of stand in front, hit W at the perfect sanct moment to interrupt it, and that's that. Rexar can't do it as reliably, plus he's got to worry about one of them diving his body. But we'll see how it goes. Definitely very fun and interesting drafts again, so it's a real treat for us HoTS lovers here at what these CCL teams are bringing us. That's really cool. So yeah, small lead for now for Storm. Let's talk about 20s. It's pretty far away.
Yeah.
Actually, let's talk about 10s first. Carson,
Sure.
you think he's going to go 7-sided? Should be Palm, no?
I feel like this is going to be a palm game, and then you go for the upgrade to level 20 for the cooldown reduction, right?
I think so. It could be Storm Shield, kind of just to give everyone a little bit survival. Hey, it could even be Epiphany to get like, what, 5 cleanses? But against literally no CC, I don't know if you need that many cleanses. I mean, there's Wailing, there's Jet Propulsion, some oil, but oil refreshes if you're in it. There's not a lot of CC, so maybe Storm Shield, or like you said, Peaceful Repose.
It's a lot of really good options. Maybe we could even see the what is it, Fists of Legend at level 20 for the Kerosene.
Yeah.
Have you tested that out at all? I'm curious.
No, I haven't, but I mean it's fun, but I find it hard to justify picking it. It's fun, though.
Exactly. It's like with all the other options at 20, it's kind of like, all right, yeah, I could take that, but at the same time, there are just better options. We dive into the bottom lane because there is a bit of pressure onto the Hogger, as we do have a Siege Giant camp pushed in by Abby Tings, amplified by her Black Arrows. And this is looking like the Fort Front Gate to go down, but Kerasene's got a lot of little punchies into the face of this Sylvana. She doesn't trigger the Haunting Wave and is able to back away safely with the speed boost of BBJ.
Really fortunate or skillful prioritization by Storm to take down those 2 towers. You know how this tribute fight always wraps around the left side bush and then goes down into the danger area of the towers? Not dangerous anymore. Those towers are gone. So Storm can fight for this tribute.
It's very much like when we talk about like Dragonshire bottom lane. Opening up bottom lane on Dragonshire is such a good tactic because then it makes it difficult for anyone to kind of sustain play in that lane. But we talk about all the benefit to Storm Esports, and they end up just giving away this first objective. I don't know if it's miscommunication or just too much of a back off from Storm. And I did see Lawber's Eldruin's Might around the objective, but I guess it was never re-triggered for the interrupt.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense. Drafts like these rely on being faster, hitting hard, like a sting, like a wasp, fly like a bee. Wait, what was it?
Float like a jellyfish, sting like a bee?
There was something about a butterfly as well, I believe. But yeah, this is what they are supposed to do. The Tyrael Sylph thing is going on. Storm is just doing like hit you on the left, hit you on the right. Didn't see that left hook, didn't see that jab. They're getting towers here and there. But they don't want a full team fight. This is just me like piecing together what they're doing, right? They don't want a full team fight until they're level 10.
Oh, Storm Esports might have to delay for another objective phase. Valimar, Kelsier, they're zoning out Lawbird. Nintori is seeing Blaze Dayquaza come in, but Kelsier uninterrupted from any sort of channel. BBJ is going to push off into Caesar Salad. The Rexar is taking quite a bit of damage. Misha comes through with a charge, but Caesar Salad will fall. I do actually like what Caesar Salad was doing right there, and if anyone's like, why was Caesar Salad running to the right? He's creating space for the rest of Diamond Hands to back away in case Storm Esports wanted to continue to chase in, like they're going to be doing through this bottom lane, but Diamond Hands just have the positional safety of getting behind their gate and poking out into the Storm Esports roster that is trying to press this bottom lane. Speaking of things that are being pressed, Urel is in top lane, getting some split siege, and that is a little bit of an experience advantage to the side of Diamond Hands with this minion experience gain, but I think that will dwindle quickly as Storm Esports should have this channel.
Yeah, it's interesting though. Everyone is coming back already, and experience-wise, Diamond Hands is in a good spot. Unless Storm can get a kill in the next like 10 seconds, and I don't think they can. This could just be a straight-up wash. With triple tributes in a row. Diamond Hands has been playing a great job. Been playing a great game actually. Despite tower losses, the Misha zoning has been good. Besides that one singular first blood in Caesar Salad's Rexar, the tribute is also in a very fortunate location. Rutsos coming in from below. Let's see if he's going to be a flanker or the flankee. Lauber goes in to get an interrupt. Rexar gets boards on about 3 to 4 people.
Boars are unleashed. Valimar has the channel on the left side of our screen, and the oil slick will not be ignited in time. Misha does go down. There's a shockwave from Hogger. We do have Sanctification and 10 Talontiers here for the side of Storm Esports as well. Kelsier is going to get dove by the Greymane, and Greymane went for the throat, finds the Lunara. Wailing Air from Sylvanas will be utilized as well. Nintori comes in with a staggering blow to just slow down the aggressive pressure from Storm Esports. And now Diamond Hands, what kind of value can they actually find with this objective phase curse? Because it feels like that kill into Lunara was pretty big to stall things out, push potential-wise for Diamond Hands.
Wow, this is where you could have cast a Divine Palm, actually. Like Lunara was low next to him, and he's got 7-sided. Into Bunker Sanct, it feels dodgy with shields, with so many low HP targets that can share the blows. Like 4 divers, 7-sided does feel dodgy, but let's look at situations where it actually ends up doing something, because that could have been a good palm location. Overall, though, Diamond Hands, no kills, but they do get the tribute, and it's been a pretty good curse, honestly. They get 1.5 forts and then some, and despite losing 1 person during that, a good prime position to start taking the boss. The Wisp is revealing that, yes, it is indeed safe. Rexar takes the vision. Urel jumps in as well, so Rexar can now... Like, is he safe? Yeah, they see the Wisp. They see everyone on boss. So Rexar can actually freely push out mid. Funny that Caesar Salad, the main tank of the team, is now being asked to have the map awareness of an offlaner, right? But he's fine. There's a Wisp.
Yeah, a lot of good vision granted by that Wisp. And I want to break down the 7-sided strike a little bit, because Grubby and I are talking about a lot of like tactical things or mechanical things around this. And what we talk about when we say, you know, sharing the damage, 7-sided strike targets the highest health nearby heroes. So if you are playing against a 7-sided strike Karazim in your games at home, and let's say you're the main tank, you're getting chunked, and your best friend is playing healer, well, that healer might, you know, step into that circle as well, because then you share the damage between each other, and you won't be actually getting chunked as much from the 7-sided strike. So that's the reason we keep talking about people grouping up around this, for anyone that might not know the intricacies of the 7-sided strike and how you can kind of manipulate the prioritization onto different heroes.
Exactly. That's exactly it. And, you know, Diamond Hands, I can't believe they're actually making Storm pull a Diamond Hands. It looks like that for now.
13's up on both sides, but the map is slowly being pushed in from Diamond Hands. They're looking really solid in this Cursed Hollow game, as we have another tribute to spawn soon on the right side of the map. Maybe when we have... It's always so hard to call with this first tribute, because do teams just give it and just, you know, walk away in lanes? I don't feel like Diamond Hands wants to do that. So maybe we get into some Diamond Hands comms soon, Grubby?
Yep, you were reading my mind, was thinking the same thing. Think it's a great chance. We are on the Diamond Hands winning train right now, so let's see if their energy changed a bit and if they can keep it up. Something changed about an hour ago, and they started a winning. Now might be a good time, Bahamut.
Into Diamond Hands we shall go.
I can mess with them.
Good Blaze in here.
Play safe a little bit. I'm gonna get one more mid-wave.
This is kind of their fight. Chill.
Chill.
I'm out.
I'll knock the siege.
I'm gonna stun them on the wall here.
Yeah, it's big.
Oh, they're kind of low.
It's 45, careful.
Yeah.
I can fall off stun in 5 seconds.
Okay, we chill. They want the fight.
I can stun with Thornwood through this flank.
Yeah, you can stall, just don't die.
I'm just playing through wave.
We probably don't fight this.
Yeah, no, we don't. It's a bad spawn. We don't.
I'm just getting big soak.
It's holy ground.
Big count.
Oh yeah, get out.
Done? Maybe? No.
That's fine.
They have to go top still. We're good here.
We get out.
They're gonna backdoor top fort. They're in a bush. They're like annoyed.
They're top.
I'm gonna send Wisp on bottom rotate.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
Like that.
There's not really anything to do right now.
Yeah, we chill. Next objective is good for us.
Yeah.
They have 2 showing bot. Maybe you can look for someone on this wave. Okay, never mind the mid.
Easy does it.
I have big scale at 16 because I'll have my globes then.
Yeah, we're all pretty good at 16, I think.
Don't give them the fight.
I'm gonna go play through bot side.
They're bottom.
They're gonna beep us for enemy. I'm fine though.
I wanna get one more mid.
I think we need to get positioning here though.
Yeah.
I think we
I don't mind fighting it from top.
We need, yeah.
Oh, no, wait. I can stall forever.
Just poke and play through the waves.
Oh, yeah, Lovers. I'll holy ground a bit.
I'm gonna go through here, but we don't commit hard.
Something off that. I missed.
My spear won't move.
Blaze is walking out, careful.
Just get out.
I'm still getting the bot wave.
Yeah, Star kills.
Yeah, let kills.
Yeah. I need to have bodies though to stall.
I'm coming.
I can stall next.
We have 6
Oh, such a good show for Hogger. I really want to go in.
I got it.
Window. We should go now.
Yeah,
go.
There.
There's
Just kill him.
He's gonna Saint. Will they overlap?
Yeah.
Big stun off the same. Maybe.
Yeah, it's
Give me.
Blaze.
Blaze.
I cleanse.
I can get more. Stun maybe. Big stun.
I run him down.
They're dead.
Wait, I can
You have no speed?
at him still.
Oh, it's big.
Geese.
Alright, come here, PBJ.
Get the outside.
I need
Wait,
heal.
bro,
I've got
tower.
tower.
Yeah, we can end. Small one in.
Wait, is this maniac back?
Cap.
Not much.
Yeah, I'll be the
Have
one
a
to
heal
cap
too.
it.
Have a heal now. My blue bar is kind of low.
Can someone start running up the objective? I don't want them to.
Yeah, I'll go.
I
bear's
drop
gonna
lots on him. I drop lots on him.
We need to run.
Yeah, actually get out. Hard out.
This is really good. I get my 20 here.
Sprint.
Or my globes.
Yeah.
Oh, it's huge. Shift.
I think if they want.
I held us in those comms a little longer because I heard someone say we end, and I was like, oh, okay, let's stay in the comms, because if they actually did end, I wanted to hear how excited they would have been. But the curse goes over to the side of Storm Esports. I gotta say though, the engagements are looking better and better for the side of Diamond Hands, as that's a really nice bounce from Nintori.
Good spin, yeah, very good spin. Big damage from Lunara. You kind of don't expect it anymore. It looks like the disengage. And there comes the Boris, a little bit impetuous, a little bit impatient. Holy ground there on the Misha Bear. She may end up falling, actually going in with the Radiant Dash heal on Misha. No Bear left behind. Holy ground, but you can spin through that, no problem, lol. As the curse is running, but it's not doing that much yet. Yeah, it'll take down top forward. Diamond Hands still has that keep. Nice little stun action. Urel on Blaze. Got filled. No absorbing defender. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1. He's still got 1 second on it. The Wailing Pepper's in. Okay, Urel is safe and can play so confidently once again. Diamond Hands really kicked it up a notch. Storm, for all that they were relaxed and just kind of not really taking it seriously, closing out that third game. Are they going to suffer the ultimate punishment? Let's look at bottom fort as well. There's 1 minion wave on the fort. It's going to take down to about 40% or so. Diamond Hands, they're like 2 steps away from victory, Bahamut.
They've just got to make the right steps in the right direction. Boss is maybe one of those. 16 talent on both sides. I do like the other thing that we heard in those comms, which I believe it was Caesar Salad saying, 16 is big for me. That's going to be the feigned death for that Rexar. But also, he was talking about his Hunter-Gatherer, because he was expecting to be done with those stacks for the extra armor for Misha and Rexar, 15 physical armor, which is pretty big. Bosses will be traded, and we also will be having the Bruiser Camp pushed into mid lane for the side of Diamond Hands. 20 talents here looming in favor for our blue team. As I look at the experience breakdown, nearly 10,000 experience difference between the two teams, whether it be passive, structures, minions, a little bit from heroic kills, and a little bit from mercenaries. It all adds up in the end in favor for Diamond Hands. Big gains over to the side of our blue team as they play things nice and slow and safe, grabbing some more camps, allowing Lunara to clear bottom lane. Quite a bit of vision in favor for Diamond Hands as well, since they could see 4 of the Storm Esports members clearing that boss and Blaze in mid lane clearing things out. So Lunara knew she was safe to solo start working on that boss in bottom lane down into the wave rather than right in front of the keep front gate, as we already see.
Yep. Well, now we get to the situation, Bahamut, where we don't have a clear win objective, like clear win condition for Diamond Hands. They don't have the bosses available. They've been reset. They do have 2 levels. And had Lunara been a Tychus, it's obvious. Go to mid game, set up Odin, and just start shooting it down. And that probably nets you a keep. And in theory, they can try to do the same thing here, but it's just Lunara. The rest is melee, so it's not as easy as when you have like Li Ming Tychus. Well, let's see how it goes. They want to set up camp anyway. They're picnicking here. Urel is actually taking care of the siege camp. That makes this a little bit of a weaker play. 3 tributes is too slow of a game plan when you have 2-level lead and a storm tier talent lead. Now with the minion wave gone, I think you stay here, and I think they are staying here, and I think that's a good thing. You want to get that keep. So, in terms of for Storm, they need to hope that Kelsey oversteps. I do think he's a bit far forward, takes a bit much damage sometimes, and there's still 0 points of damage on the keep. 1 level has already been bridged.
The trickling experience is coming in for Storm Esports. BBJ amplifying that healing, just keeping everyone healed up and topped off inside his little circle. A little bit of Lunara Thornwood Vine to apply some damage to the structure right now. She did go into Nature's Calling at level 4 as we talked about earlier, but we have Boars unleashed once again by Rexar. He does have the kill command for the root, but I believe that is going to be Boars unleashed and Diamond Hands backing away to get the channel on this tribute. Siege Giants in top lane have arrived at the keep front gate, need to be cleared out, and Yrel, once again, she's posturing around that Siege Giant camp with the Avenging Wrath. Diamond Hands go back to mid lane to just get this slow siege, but this feels way too slow, Grubby. I agree with you. It's like, Diamond Hands, you gotta do something, but the turtle up from Storm is just, they're too turtled. They can't step in underneath the keep.
Yeah, only 1 ranged assassin, and it's not Big Red Button Odin. Lunara far squishier than a 25 armor, 9 range Odin with nukes and stuff. And this is not enough damage on the keep. They got the tribute because they realized, hey, if we stay here for another 45 seconds, we may not even get the consolation prize of a 1 out of 3 tributes. This is a fantastic defense by Storm. We can call this an unmitigated success, an unmitigated failure by Diamond Hands, well, by Storm and Diamond Hands respectively. There's no 2 ways about it. You have a 1.8 level lead with Storm tier behind it. You want more than 60% of a keep, normally.
You want a lot more than that. You want kills. You want to be stepping up towards core. But I think Diamond Hands, they're feeling a little bit of pressure from this game number 5, and they don't want to overplay their hand. And so I do respect kind of the little bit of trepidation we are seeing and the concern going into just how these engagements will be utilized. Blaze, Dequaza does scout out the Wisp, so that's going to be taken care of really quickly. So Storm Esports are going to be back into the fog of war, the shadows. Another Wisp comes out, but Dequaza sees it, clears it out immediately. Misha tries to get the charge, can't connect. Curse is here, Tribute is here. No curse potential. Retso looking like the one to grab it, does avoid and sidesteps the Thornwood Vines. Tyrael tries to
We've seen that before, and Kelsier gets away again. In come the Boars, it's a 4-man boar.
4-man boar, the roots are there. Got Filth is trying to jump away, looking at Rutso maybe. Got Filth is getting dropped in HP, pops the Ardent Defender. Wailing Arrow from Sylvanas was used in all this. Bunker still available for Blaze as Rexar was putting pressure onto the backline. Misha still up and available as well. Valimar trying to back away. Caesar Salad, he's getting collapsed on, goes for the feigned death. We do have Valimar low. 7-sided strikes available. Sanctification's here, and that is a Rexar kill. Keep in mind, bottom lane has catapults coming through. Siege Giants on top as well. But it seems like Storm Esports has the channel onto this, and Nintori delays out once with a little bit of garbage.
That was a bad sanct.
Yeah?
I mean, 5v1 against a Rexar that feigned death, you don't need to sanct. Kind of get it, but it was a bit too much. And now, it's a boss trade. There's catapults on course soon, but it's not dangerous yet. And the siege camp is still pushing in top. And it's a boss for boss trade. I think Diamond Hands, first of all, I don't think they should have taken that tribute fight as hard or from that direction as they did. But losing 1, you could do worse than trading bosses and gaining a bonus bruiser. Hold that thought. Larber's like, nah.
This my bruiser camp. I'm going to use my holy ground. Right now, for anyone wondering, the catapults deal 708 damage to core, actually 754 damage to structures, as the just looking at one of the catapults through the bottom lane. And those do scale up as we have 15% dropping off of the Storm Esports core. Boss coming in through top lane. Boss and bottom lane will be managed. You can see Hogger on your minimap bouncing around. He's grabbing the bruiser camp from mid. This is a curse, or excuse me, a tribute point on the right side of the map, so this is beneficial to the positioning of Storm Esports, but Diamond Hands could look to jump in on this and try and make a play happen, maybe find a kill or 2 of their own. No major advantages found through that kill in Rexar, and Sanctification did have the Holy Arena picked up at level 20. It's not the longest cooldown at 90 seconds, and it's already back up after utilizing it, so maybe it was just, hey, Lauber was sick and tired of not getting a kill. He's like, all right, we're going to get some big benefit value, but the boars are unleashed and doesn't find any value.
He cleanses everyone. That's a great trade for Storm. Boards are down. Not the best timing of the boards, oftentimes, I must say.
Kelsier split, Sanctification on the ground as well. There's going to be a lot of damage into Kelsier as Lucio's trying to chase him. There's going to be a huge, massive Omega.
Nice.
That was an amazing. Savanas, what?
68 health. IBT's getting away. Lauber low, Lauber low, Lauber low. Has no Sanct available. Everyone is low on the side of the Diamond Hands. This is insane. Hogger, Lunara, they're coming in, but that. What was that stun? It was like Ogre's staggering blow, wasn't it? Or was it Misha into a shockwave?
Such a good shockwave. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But now,
this is crazy.
BBJ's dead for 35 seconds. And they step to core on the side of Diamond Hands. Can they end here?
This is iffy. This is unnecessary. You're up one tribute. You're up one player. There are hobbies on the map. There's a siege camp to stop. Only the healer is dead, who has lower DPS. And you're going in? Well, actually, those boards are not going to be able to get cleansed, but it's deep. It's deep. I think this is a mistake by Diamond Hands. I want it to be known for the record that this is extremely risky and isn't necessary.
Oh my god, Nintori with that spin made me nervous as they were almost taken down by some tower shots and maybe one stagger or one stray arrow from Sylvanas could have gotten that kill, but BBJ is back in the mix. The map is in favor of Diamond Hands. The next curse point coming up on the bottom right of our map. Things are insanely tense right now, and with that tension, Grubby, you want to get in more comms? You want to hear from the side of Storm Esports?
Yep, let's do it. Let's go.
In we go.
Okay. We can find someone out of position. Oh, they might just give this on. They're gonna take top, maybe.
I give.
I think they're gonna play for top.
I'm just playing the cup.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
They have whiff bot, I think.
Yeah, there's a whiff down here.
He showed top, Maybe your ally solo interrupting. Okay. I mean, they're gonna wait for boss, right?
It's what, another 2 minutes?
IB's kind of.
Yeah, Lunar's low.
I mean,
Over here.
Look at Urel.
Can you go on mid?
Yeah.
Look at Hogger.
okay.
Go.
Look at Monk.
They can't do anything now. They can't do
I have
anything.
speed, I have speed, I have speed.
Run at them.
We can throw them.
They can't do shit. Run.
I got one shot.
Okay, we can still maybe run in there.
Kill Misha.
What do we do then? That's some boss.
That's unlucky. Need to stay alive.
Fucking Lunar Q hit me for 1,200. Well, same time as Lunara.
Let's clear the way.
Do we?
We play for curse, I think.
Yeah, it doesn't really do anything, but it's fun to have.
It just helps us get to
You guys can go like hards to curse. You have time to one-shot it. They're all playing bot side.
No, I'm playing it.
Our boss is in, their boss is in 30.
1,000 damage, Grubby. We were hearing from BBJ how he was talking about how much he was getting chunked for by that Lunar, and he's like, yeah, I got one shot. But the thing that I heard BBJ say towards the end of us being in the comms, he was saying that this does nothing. And I'm assuming he's referring to this getting this curse?
Yeah, this curse now disables... well, it would have done nothing if Diamond Hands gets it.
Oh,
because it shuts down defenses and Storm has no defenses. Right?
Okay.
So... and then Lauber was like, but I still think we should get it and fight for it because it helps us. It helps us. He didn't say that. I said that. It helps us depush the waves.
Okay, yeah, because I was misunderstanding. I was just like, was he referring to them? Because I was like, if you guys get this on the side of Storm, that's huge. But now, talking about big things, this is a boss play. We rarely ever see boss during a curse phase, and Misha's going to scout out and go down.
Ooh,
She's dead for 20. Yeah, they're going to leash this at 50% because I think there's the fear of a potential invade, or maybe there's the fear of their own boss being stolen away. Storm are all over the place right now trying to chase in for a fight.
Yeah, well, they didn't want to trade bosses because Diamond Hands goes core and then Diamond Hands wins. They're hard
Wailing?
chasing with the wailing arrow on Karazim. The board's coming. I think that's the disengage. Rayquaza wants to hit the big jet propulsion shockwave for safety. They do a big staggering blow into the terrain. They kill Rayquaza. This was a very desperate chase by Storm because they know, hey, we're behind on the map. We can't keep doing this. No control comes in. Sylvanas goes down. Diamond Hands is pulling a reverse Diamond Hands. It's the best play you can make. They get the victory here. They are going to get the victory. They're 1 and 2. The 2 series they lost, they went up 2-0. Now they went down 0-2. At that moment, it was a page in the history books, to be sure. They get the reverse. Fantastic play there by Diamond Hands, rallying. Rutso tries to do what he can, as does BBJ, but it's the two of them in a sea of Diamond Handers. 1-for-1 there. Rutso, actually, he's got the bandwidth to kill Caesar Salad here. That's 3 on core. It's poisoned. It's GG. Diamond Hands with the 3-2.
Diamond Hands reverse sweep the members of Storm Esports. And I gotta say, it's gotta be probably very sweet for the side of Diamond Hands. Unfortunate for Storm Esports. Like, we jump back and forth between those comms so much, and like the energy levels are so different. The one thing that I loved about Diamond Hands is you actually heard them kind of complimenting and playing off each other. There was like 1 or 2 good stuns. They're like, yeah, good stun. Like, they had this momentum really being built up as a synergistic team. And I think that was, at least in my opinion, a big factor in this come around, turn around, reverse sweep, as we have Justin back in with us, and I gotta get your breakdown on all of this.
Yeah, that was a super fun game. You love to see it go to game 5, and for them to get the reverse sweep, really, really happy with that. And you mentioned the comms. I had a note about that. When we went into Diamond Hands comms, they sounded really hyphy, like they were really riding the momentum really, really hard. You could tell they were all really, really hyped up. And then on the side of Storm, with the exception of Lauber, it kind of all sounded like they had siblings maybe that were like sleeping and like they couldn't be too loud because you don't want to wake them up. Like, you could tell there was a really big difference in the comms between the 2 teams. Because Diamond Hands just all yelling and hyper active with the momentum, which is what you kind of need that in HoTS. It's such a momentum based game that once you get that momentum, it's really, that's kind of what wins games. It feels like it's just that momentum. But the late game had a lot of interesting things that occurred. So you have the level 20 to level 18 from Diamond Hands, but due to the timing of the curse and the bosses, there was 2 whole levels where they had nothing to really do with their advantage, and you guys touched on that quite a bit, where they were kind of throwing themselves at the mid keep trying to siege, and they just couldn't do that. Their comp doesn't really allow them to do that. They don't have a lot of siege with 3 melees and just a Lunara, so it was kind of awkward for them. I'm happy for them that they're the ones that won while having that momentum through the early game, having that 2-level lead, but just because of the timing of the bosses and the objectives, not being able to end with their level 20, I really like that they're the ones that finally came out on top. You had a lot of these back and forth team fights. I think this is where you get Nintori, where he just hit the gigantic shockwave here, and Storm all lives with, besides the exception of BJ, they all live with like 1 HP. I was really like feeling for Diamond Hands in this moment. Everyone on Storm's just running away 1 at a time with 1 HP, so they don't get to end there. And then here you had Nintori in another late game fight kind of gets popped there, and then they get chased down, but they trade again, and it's a 2-for-1. And you just have these fights that they're just not enough for either team to end the game. And then finally, Storm thinks that they've caught Diamond Hands out of position, that they're split, but the people that they're chasing are a Lunara and a Monk. And you can't really chase a Lunara and a Monk, especially not over the wall. This is like where they got out, and then they turn it, and this is pretty much just where they win the game for Storm, or for Diamond Hands. And just really overall happy to see Diamond Hands hit them with the dose of their own medicine after getting reverse swept twice. Getting their own reverse sweep feels good for them.
It's gonna be, I feel like this is the season of reverse sweeps. We like, I don't think we had a single one in season 1. I think we might have had 1 or 2 in season 2, but I mean, we're at like, what, this is the 3rd one of our season 3 in week number 4. Oh man, the games get better and better every single day, every single weekend, and we have an exciting interview coming our way in just a second here. We're gonna get Got Filth with us in just a moment. I believe we just have to do we got to get him into a room and everything like that, but it's been such a fun day of games. Like, I am blown away and impressed. Like, I'm blown away in a very positive sense. Like, I'm very, very proud of Diamond Hands for what they were able to do here. I love all the teams on CCL, but like Diamond Hands, they really came out and impressed me so well today. And we have Got Filth on the line right now. Got Filth, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Congratulations on your victory. Congratulations on reverse sweeping a Stormy Esports. How are you feeling after all that?
I mean, it was probably like one of the most fun sets I've played in a while. Finally getting on the other end of a reverse sweep is is good. We're actually just like reverse sweep magnets this season. 3 of our 4 series have been reverse sweeps.
Right?
I mean,
so maybe at this point you've passed the curse along to Storm Esports and now you can live curse free from this. But I don't want to hog all the questions. I'm sure Justin has a question or two for you.
Yeah, so after getting reverse swept like you guys did in the previous weeks, how do you, what kind of changes do you have to make to be the team that now you come in and you're the ones doing the reverse sweeping? What kind of, has any big changes happened with the team, maybe with your structuring or anything like that with your practice?
We never like prepped anything beforehand other than for BOE and Dragon, and those were the 2 maps we always went on. So like after we got done on those 2 maps, we were kind of just running around with chickens with our heads cut off. So like we always just got stomped every map. But this week we did some elite draft prep and figured out what we wanted to play on some other maps. I think that paid off pretty good.
That was really, really good payoff indeed, as you did take that series. Grubby, any questions for Got Filth?
We feel like that your hero picking prioritization took the biggest arc among the 5 of you. You went with Abathur and Tracer, and then into maybe more reliable, where you looked more comfortable. Would you say that's fair?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's like one of my strong suits as a player is I can play a lot of different things. So I think this week, like going into the drafts, like we were trying to pick a lot of quirky, weird things, and so I usually got put on some of the weirder heroes, and because of that.
You got more weird stuff coming up for us next week?
Yeah, probably.
Is there a Cho'Gall in there?
Maybe one of these days. I can't promise.
So you're saying there's a chance? Okay, I'll take that much. I'll take that much. But I'm sorry, Grubby, I cut you off.
It's great to see you guys pull off the reverse Uno, the reverse Diamond Hands on them. Would you say you guys did anything on like post-mortem analysis of mindset adjustment in terms of where you're at game number 3?
No, I don't think we really did anything like that. I think like as a team we're really good at not tilting. Like I think a lot of teams would have been really upset after getting reverse swept last week, especially after like the way we lost the 5th game, but none of us were really upset or anything. We came back like the next day and we were doing fine.
Kudos to that.
Yeah.
And congrats tonight.
Yeah, seriously, we jumped in your comms during that Curse Hollow game, and I was saying this to Grubby and Justin that like I was like the energy levels were so high, like I could hear you guys complimenting each other, like, oh, good stun, good plays. So really, I think your mentals played a big factor in this series, at least from my perspective as a caster. So congratulations on your reverse sweep up against Storm Esports. Congratulations on your victory in week number 4 of CCL. And Got Filth, before I let you run out of here, are there any shouts that you'd like to give? The floor is all yours.
Shout out to the team, obviously. Shout out to the Diamond Hands org, Chris, the boss man over there, and Key, our manager.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for the interview, Got Filth. Congratulations once again on your victory. We'll see you in week number 5 up against 30K. Good luck in your scrims, practice, and all that good stuff.
All right, thank you.
Thanks for joining us, my friend. Man, I you can hear like how happy he is. Like he's all smiles. I'm sure if we had the webcam for him, I'm sure he'd be just beaming right now. But we're gonna let them go celebrate their victory. And man, we've had a lot of really good games today. We had a lot of really good moments. But Justin, I believe you have the best moment from this Saturday's games on HeroesCCL.
That's right. I've got the super duper mega cool play of the year, powered by Wisdom. And the lesson of this one is that often I'm seeing that maybe the best play overall from the day isn't necessarily from the winning team. And I think the lesson to be learned from that is that maybe the flashiest plays aren't always the best, and that the winning teams are winning because of consistency. So that's my overall lesson before we break it down. So we can go ahead and pull up the replay. It's game 2 of Granite versus Simplicity on First Hollow. And you see Granite Gaming is doing their boss, and they leave Falstad to finish it because they have Urel lurking, actually scouting the enemies doing their boss. And since they heard the ping, they assumed that everyone was on the boss, so they don't expect the side of Granite Gaming to get here so quickly. And then Granite Gaming has a ton of displacement once they get here. So thanks to Urel being able to hold the point and then Falstad being able to fly in and get the gust, they didn't expect this at all from Simplicity. They had no idea this was coming. And you can tell that Mene just at the start of this fight is just chasing Henning around, and then they get really split with Unaverted and Mene being on completely separate sides of the fight. There just isn't enough damage to do anything to their front line. So this was just like a really cool macro play, and Masquerade's going to hit a cute little Stormbolt and run away here at the end. But it was a really, really cool macro play coming out from Granite Gaming, which ended up winning them that one game in the series.
Mm-hmm.
But those types of plays, they come pretty rarely, but it's more the consistent plays that are going to make you win the series, because although that was a cool, neat play by Granite, Simplicity still ended up winning that series.
I absolutely agree with you, Justin, and I was kind of hoping you'd bring up this clip because I wrote it down in my own notebook to put it in our pre-show kind of review as well, because I think that was just such a really, really cool moment in a macro, micro, overall just control of Curse Hollow and understanding and rotations and kind of time to get across the map is just really, really cool. And thank you as always for breaking down the Wisdom Power Play Super Omega 1 of the year. Apparently that is the power play of the entire year, so no more power plays. That's going to be it. But let's, Grubby, talk about some standings, because we've had a little bit of changes in what's happened to the standings after today's 2 best of 5s.
Storm Esports, that during the player interview said that they are a top 3 team with Oxygen and Diamond taking up the middle, are now finding themselves in the 6th spot with a 1-3 score. Granite Gaming was unable to improve upon their 1-2 score and lost to Simplicity, though they gave Simplicity a run for their money. Simplicity is on the money though, with a 4-0 score. And tomorrow we're going to see our 2-1 teams play it out, with 30k Wildheart and Oxygen duking it out for that coveted top 3 position, where you can skip the gauntlet.
You actually just mentioned this perfectly, Grubby, as we actually do have all those matches for tomorrow up in front of our faces. We got Chili Mountain up against Oxygen Esports and 30k versus Wildheart Esports. When we look at these 2 matchups, Chili Mountain, you know, we got to address the elephant in the room. They have not had a map victory or a series victory just yet. And going into Oxygen, Justin, is going to be a very difficult task. I'm hoping to see that we see a reinvigorated Chili Mountain going into that series tomorrow, but Oxygen might have, to be blunt, might have the easier best of 5 tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, we'll see if they were able to, if Chili Mountain's able to bounce back sort of how Granite Gaming did in the last week and look a lot stronger from a lot stronger from last week. But then also 30k versus Wildheart, I'm really excited for that matchup, because both of those teams I think are definitely for sure contending for the first place by the end of the season. So it'll be really cool to see all those matches tomorrow.
We got a lot of great matches tomorrow afternoon for all of you. And before we start to kind of wrap up our broadcast here, I got to get your takeaways of the day from both of you. I'll start with Grubby. Any major takeaway or thoughts that you had from today's 2 best of 5s?
I thought you were offering to order food for us.
Oh, what do you want? I got to run out anyways.
I got to get your takeaways.
Yeah. What's your takeout order? You want Chinese? You want burritos? What's up?
That pastry
you're
thing.
You're just rolling with it, man. You're rolling with it. Yeah, pizza will be nice. I want to see what pizza you always eat. You always talk about it.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, today were some of the best series so far in season 3. I think it was my favorite day, and I just had so much fun. So many good fights. The games went long, 3-1 and 3-2. The second series especially was a roller coaster, with Diamond Hands pulling the reverse Uno, and Granite made that series against Simplicity so much more exciting than I even thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be 3-0, and then I saw the draft, so I was like, okay, you guys did your work, 3-1 perhaps, but the way in which they did it, pure quality.
Oh yeah,
great games. I know the fans had a great time as well, so thanks for tuning in and being with us this weekend. There's more coming up tomorrow.
Justin, any takeaways from today's games?
Yeah, I'm really excited to see that the teams that I didn't initially think were going to be super strong coming into the season are making a comeback here and looking really strong. Granite Gaming looked good even though they didn't win. And Diamond Hands, they're on the up and up. Storm Esports is a team that could be contending for that first place spot, or so we thought. Looks like they're contending for 6th at the moment. So Diamond Hands looking really strong. Same with Granite. I like to have more teams that I can really cheer for as the season progresses. A lot of teams fighting for that middle of the pack, trying to break out up into that top of the standings is really exciting.
Today was an exciting day of games, and I agree with both of you. I think today we've had some of the best Heroes of Storm action between these teams, regardless of the actual score outcomes. I think we had some of the best team fights, drafts, and play day of Season 3 of CCL, and we're only, technically, like, we're halfway through just the group stages at the end of today, so we still have a lot more awesome Heroes of Storm action coming up for all of you in the future weekends as well as tomorrow. But unfortunately, that is going to be the end of our broadcast today. We will see you all tomorrow for 2 more awesome best of 5 starting at 11 a.m. PST, 2 o'clock EST, and 20 CET. Thank you all for hanging out with us. Thank you so much to Next Level Gaming for joining us for Season 3 of CCL. We look forward to the games in the future. We look forward to all of the CCL action. I have been Bahamut, joined by Grubby and Justing for another awesome day of HeroesCCL. We'll see you tomorrow for HeroesCCL presented by Wisdom. Don't go anywhere. See you then. Just stay here all night, forever. Don't leave.